Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a comic book review where we take the books from the past week, recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. Also, occasionally, we will hype up a book that's coming out the following or this week with a creator that comes on and chats about it.
Yay.
So far, we've had Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yep.
Tom King.
Yes.
And we've got a third. We have a third guest.
Is it me?
It is not.
Oh.
You're not a guest. You're a regular.
I don't create
You're
anything
a host.
anyway.
Host. Not anything that anybody sees, unfortunately. But yeah, so we'll be joined by him in a little while. But for now, let's talk about some comics.
Spoilers.
Yes,
No.
that's right. No, that's good.
know.
We don't want to spoil it. We wanted you to know. We do want it spoiled. It's not really spoiling if they should know about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously, welcome. If you have gotten this notification, you are subscribed to ComicPop Returns, the second channel in the ComicPop empire.
And it means you're super cool.
It means you are completely cool. As cool, and if not more so, than the people who are also subscribed to ComicPop at youtube.com/ComicPop. Make sure you subscribe to both channels to get all the goods, and hopefully we'll march our way. Right now, we're at 10K here at ComicPop Returns. We're at 95K over ComicPop, 5K away from 100K. A lot of Ks going on. Hopefully, we're gonna keep them either below 3 or more than 3. Otherwise, it gets dicey. But we're jumping into some super chats, of course, because this show is sponsored by viewers like you out there who are helping us out, subscribing to the channel, and leaving super chats to help add to the infrastructure. Like Danny Ollie, who has an adorable super sticker. Thank you very much, Danny, for your support.
Yee.
Brian Rowlands, who says, Heroes Reborn and Return are perfect for WandaVision fans who are so sure that Mephisto was behind everything. Comic Pop is the best. Really weird decision. I don't know what the hell the Mephisto thing is all about, but you only get more Mephisto when it comes to Jason Aaron's run on Avengers. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I want it to be as far away from me as possible, but hopefully we'll see if it all coalesces. Because like I said last week, I was like, Heroes Reborn.
Mhm.
I'm kind of getting what they're playing at.
Yeah.
And Heroes Return came out. I'm going to review that in a little bit.
Good.
And it kind of wraps up. It's funny.
It's over?
Yeah. Brilliant strategy. It's all around. Awesome. Great ideas. Super Cliff says, sending love from Boston. Boston. Thank you from Beantown. Hope all is well. Are you excited and intrigued with Jed McKay's upcoming Moon Knight run? Keep up the great work. I am. I don't have any opinion one way or the other. I don't really know McKay's work too well. I do know I've heard rumors that it's going to be like funny. I don't know. I have no interest in like a Moon Knight that is not like, I don't know.
A Moon Knight who pairs up with Howard the Duck.
Oh, our special guest might be all about that kind of team up.
I know.
Robert A. I was thinking recently that if Wonder Woman is now the first superhero, how does that age characters like Steve Trevor? Do you think that'll be ignored? No, I don't think it'll be ignored. I know it will be ignored. DC does not care at all about that. They are not interested in making it make sense. They just want to get their money. Oh my God, we are all okay. So as a setup for this, when I invited our special esteemed guest onto this show,
What did he do?
he asked me if he didn't ask me. He said, well, I hope you're prepared for me to be shirtless. And I jokingly replied, well, you read my mind, because I assumed that he was joking, but he's not. So let's get this right off.
I didn't realize that was the dress code today.
Well,
I feel like I overdressed now.
I know we both are. So here we go. Let me welcome our esteemed guest.
Do that while I figure these out.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chip Zdarsky. Chip, how are you, man?
I'm fucking hot. So, I'm fucking hot.
Yes. I think it's about 95 here in Jersey. How about you?
It's like, I don't know. Fahrenheit, I don't understand.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
It's
I don't know.
It's like closing in on 40 Celsius
Oh.
here, which is like 100
Yeah.
something. I don't know. It's not good.
No, it's awful. Well, I see that you're dressed for the occasion.
Hmm.
So
What's
yeah,
up?
well, basically, we wanted to talk really quick about the fact that this week on Wednesday, the latest episode or issue of Daredevil's coming out.
So what?
Well, it's pretty dope. I mean, I know it's so hot. How can we possibly be talking about comics right now?
31st issue. I don't know. If you read 30 of them, you get it.
That's the thing. Yeah.
You get it. It's fine. It's all
Yeah.
right. It's good. I don't know. Daredevil beats up bad guys.
Woo!
Elektra beats up bad guys.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, I for one am hyped. There's a gorgeous cover by Chichetto. The interior is done by Mike Hawthorne, who is I understand he's leaving the book.
He's
Is
leaving
this his
me.
last one?
He's leaving me. No, we're sending an issue off to the printer today, issue 32, and that's his final one. So I think he's probably hidden a bunch of swear words in it.
Nice,
So,
awesome.
So for collectors, issue 32, you're going to want to grab that because he'll probably get pulped because of all the horrible things he has to say about me.
Nice.
I don't know. It's probably something I did. That's
Natural.
my assumption.
Well, maybe he Batman damned it, hit a couple of dicks in there. You never know.
Possibly, yeah. But
Well,
I mean, it's probably all the photos I sent him of me like this.
Yes,
all this.
It's looking good.
Well, thank you.
You're an Adonis, my friend. Thank you so much for.
It's the full package too.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, it's hot. It's hot.
It is hot.
Yeah.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
It's as hot as the show.
Literally, I should also point out this week, legally, I have to point out that crossover issue number 7 from Image Comics is coming out.
Why is that so special, and why is our esteemed guest such?
Because I have written it.
Oh.
I wrote it. I'm the writer of it.
Yes.
Even though it's Mr. Donny Cates' book, I somehow am writing it.
Nice.
With art by Phil Hester and Andy Parks, and it's
yes, easily
beautiful.
And your beautiful visage is emblazoned across the book because I understand you might be a focal point, not just writer, not just cover star.
Within the universe of crossover, comic book creators have either been turning up dead or missing, and Chip Zdarsky is missing.
Oh,
and the only person who can find Chip Zdarsky is Chip Zdarsky. So it's
it's really meta.
It's very meta. It's like sickeningly meta. People either love it or they'll hate it. I have no idea. I don't care.
No, it's already done. You've written it. You've drawn. You're appearing it. It's over.
Yeah. But it's a wild one. I think people should check it out.
Definitely.
Yeah. What's new with you?
Not much, man. You're looking at it, making the show, keeping it real, hot.
Nice, looking good.
Tiffany, how about you? Any questions for Chip?
I got nothing. I'm enamored with this whole conversation.
This is going really well.
I'm just watching the show at this point. I'm just a fan right now.
Yeah.
I'm an open book.
Well, when's the Zdarsky OnlyFans starting?
It's just me hopping on various podcasts.
Yeah. I think it's right now.
I think we got it. This is a good preview.
Technically, mine is called Only Fan. I probably only have one of them.
Well, after this, maybe. Thank you so much.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
No, but I'm hyped, man. I've been, you mentioned buy all 30 issues of Daredevil, then you'll get caught up with the next issue. That's how we sell this book. Is literally just going like, listen, there's only 30 issues. Like that's yet it's like dog years because how many Marvel series get 30 plus issues before they get rebooted to a number one.
That is true.
And yet it's only 30 issues, so it's easy to jump in and then get all caught up.
This is actually a pretty easy one to jump in on too. It's the first part of an arc called Lockdown. I don't want to spoil anything.
No.
But
it comes up in 2 days, so
Yeah, it gets pretty wild.
Awesome.
There's a first appearance of a character in this.
Oh no.
So all you speculators out there,
you better gobble it up.
Yeah, all you speculators, you better waltz into your store and be like, yes, of course I'm a reader of Daredevil and I would love 10 copies because I have them for all my friends.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, let's hope because hey, listen, whether that only hurts the regular readers of the book, but also
it only hurts regular readers. And who cares about them?
They'll get it. They'll get it. Cons are opening back up. They can go into the long boxes. They can pick it up. They'll find another copy.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm sure. But yeah, man. Those bastards. But yeah, so God, I guess we can hype up the Spider Shadow. It's coming towards its inevitable conclusion. I think we're about 2 issues away. from its wrap up?
They gave me an extra issue, which was nice.
Yes.
I started to write the final issue. I'm like, oh, there's too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much for this. And they kindly extended it by an issue.
Let me ask you a question about that. Because this has happened before. I've seen it so many times, especially with limited series, where you'll see, 1 of 4, and then suddenly there's like 5 or 6 more issues attached to it, and they just pretend like we didn't notice or can't read. And my question is, when you find that you've gotten to the last issue and you need to split it up into 2 issues, do publishers have a preference between like, well, we'll make it double-sized and charge more, or do we split it up and just make 2 issues?
Well, I mean, my first suggestion was, I basically said like with an extra 10 pages, I could really make this work.
Yeah.
Can we go up to 30 pages? And they kind of crunched the numbers and were like, well, in order to be able to like justify the cost of it based on where the numbers are, like we need a whole new issue. Like there's a whole bunch of like economics that kind of go into it.
Right.
Which was good because I actually had some more things I had to wrap up. And so the extra 20 pages was much more helpful than the extra 10.
Nice.
It was really just bad planning on my part. Like I planned out the series, and in the last issue, I'm just like, okay, and this happened, this happened, this happens, great. But then when I start to write, I'm like, oh, it's all action. Like I kind of need the emotional beats, and you
don't want to shortchange them on the action because you can't cram it all into like a 12-panel page or something.
Yeah, and also at that point, I'm used to writing for Pascal, so I know what he wants to draw, what he's good at drawing, the number of panels he's good with. So that kind of changes the way you approach the script by the end. Because it's like going on a blind date. Like I had no idea.
No.
Like I knew him by reputation. He's an amazing artist, but you don't know the particulars of an artist until you're actually writing for them.
True.
So yeah. I mean, I think it worked out well. People get an extra issue out of it. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask about the Spider Shadow, kind of like leading into the What If being a new imprint, and also I remember you saying the last time you were on one of our shows, you said you wanted to kind of go, well, let's help launch What If again and get new people on the book, and then they immediately announced that you're doing another What If book. Yeah.
I mean, that won't be for a while.
Okay.
I haven't started writing that one.
All right, it's just kind of in the hopper. It's not necessarily a thing that's like, oh, well the next one will be the Chip Zdarsky What If.
They have other books in progress right now.
That's exciting.
But I know like the higher ups at Marvel were like, oh, we want you to do the second What If that comes out. I'm like, well, I don't want it to be like the Chip Zdarsky series, right? Like,
right, exactly.
Nobody wants that. So I kind of want a bit of breathing space with other creators, kind of filling in the gap there.
Sure.
But I mean, they keep me on the loop on it. Like I'm not like the editor of the book, but I'm kind of like unofficially helping shepherd it. So I get to see the pitches as they come in, and so far they've been amazing. So I'm excited to read them as well.
Yeah, it's been interesting this kind of like new era for at least Marvel. I like to call it, we colloquially call it the Hickman era, where Hickman had this idea. He's not an editor, but he is kind of shepherding the line. We saw with the announcement with Spider-Man, there's going to be 4 or 5 creative people working on it.
Yeah.
And while I think Nick Lowe is still editing that book, it's going to be shepherded by like one kind of head and kind of directing it in one direction. Is that kind of like I don't know, are you seeing it changing in the winds where it's like, well, we think it's good to have like one person kind of steer the ship, and if it's a bigger enough story, they disseminate it to other creators, and then we just kind of meet back at the end.
Well, I mean,
coalesce it all together.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, depends on the creators. Like certain titles it works for, like X-Men, obviously.
So big.
There's all the mutant titles that tie into it. You look over at DC, Batman is kind of the same thing. Like James is the head of it, and he's got the Gotham Bible that people are checking into as they write their series.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I mean, over the years, obviously, like I did Spectacular Spider-Man, and in the past have been like Web of Spider-Man and all the various kind of spin-offs. Those feel a bit more sporadic, so there's not really a head of Spider.
Right.
Like Nick Spencer would be that currently, and then going forward, I don't know which of the writers is technically the head.
Yeah.
Of the ongoing stuff. It'll even designate it that way.
Right.
I kind of look at the upcoming Spider-Man thing as more like 52. Number 52.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
the best writers and like, all right, go for it.
Right.
We're
Tell this one story. Yeah.
Yeah. I've pitched Marvel the idea before of like, because there's certain types of books that it works for. Like, if you were to do a Defenders book with the kind of the original Defenders, like you could have individual series for all those characters and have like a Defenders main book and have that tie together. If you do a street level thing, you could do the same thing too. Like someone does a Luke Cage and Jessica book or a Iron Fist book, and Daredevil. So there's possibility, but like a lot of it's just bandwidth. I don't know too many creators who are frankly smart enough, personable enough, because at that point you're managing a team of people, and a lot of writers are just bad at that.
Right.
There are a lot of boxes that have to be checked for it to work well. Like Hickman's like a great example.
Yeah.
Of a guy who can make it work because he's super smart, organized, with all his goddamn charts.
Oh, God.
And and I think the people working with him look up to him.
Right.
Like he has their back, and gives them the input that they need, but doesn't step on any toes.
Mm-hmm.
And all he wants is the best work from everybody. Like he's the ideal candidate for that. Like if I was put in charge, like I would just, frankly, I'd fuck it up completely.
Well,
I'd be like, I don't know. You write about this? I don't know. Yeah, that comes before this. I don't know. Like,
right.
No idea. I can't even put a shirt on.
I can't even put a shirt on. Well, there you have it. Yeah. Do you want to? Is there anything that you want to plug besides Daredevil and Crossover, which are exciting in their own right, but they're coming out on Wednesday, so you should definitely check them out if you haven't already pre-ordered them, which you absolutely should, because pre-ordering is the way you save your books.
I'm a real live for today kind of guy.
I know.
Because I can't remember anything after the week coming up.
Sure.
So I'm sure I have books coming out.
Yeah, Urban Legends, for example, is a book that's eventually going to come out, and you're writing it.
It's going to come out, yeah. Justice League, that's coming out, sure.
Yeah, that's right. The Elseworlds type book, Last Ride.
Yep. I tried to get that under the What If line, but apparently I couldn't do that.
It's weird.
It's
weird when other publishers won't.
They don't play ball. It's strange.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff coming up. I got 13 things on my plate.
Oh my God. Is that a real number, or is that just a number you picked out?
No, it's actually 13. I added it up the other day.
That's great.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like creator-owned that, like, I'm ahead on. Like we've got like 5 issues in the can, but we haven't announced yet. And creator-owned beyond that as well, and a couple of big Marvel things, and another big DC thing, which is nice.
That's great.
So yeah, there's a lot going on. I just don't want to do any of it because I'm tired. And
Well, it's hot.
Yeah,
it's too hot for work.
We just take a page out of the cat's playbook.
Yes.
It's too hot. You just got to go lay in the shade. It's fine.
Yeah, the cat has stopped work for the day.
Yeah, they're
Usually
good.
the cat is very productive.
They're always very productive. There's a different level.
Right.
Like, there's like lazy cat, and then there's like, it's too hot. No, we're done.
Yeah, that's me.
Completely melted.
Yeah.
Well, Chip, thanks so much for popping in. We really appreciate it, man.
My pleasure.
I'm very excited to see what else is coming from you. Maybe not in the shirtless variety, but I'm still down. It was great to have you.
We'll take it all around. It's fine.
We'll take it.
It's fine.
You should put that. You should put a picture of this in the back of your books, like
yes,
like in the letters section, like it's your biopic,
right?
James Kachalka did that in one of his books. Do you know the artist James Kachalka? Indie artist, did American Elf.
Oh. No.
Super funny guy, and his like bio photo is just like him naked on his bed, just like turned away, so it's just his butt, his beautiful little butt.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
There you go.
I think I've seen you make publicity photos like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for coming back, man. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll have you on for a good while longer. We'll do it again.
Yeah. I'm always available. Sadly.
That's not true. You have 13 freaking things coming out. You're
I don't want to do any of them, so it worked out well.
So I'll just come on podcast and just speculate endlessly.
That's technically work. This is work. You worked today. You're good. You're done.
My accountant says it's work.
Yeah. You just tell Marvel, DC, and anyone else that we said it's okay. You're done for the day.
There you go.
And I will be sending you an invoice. Anyway,
and the check is in the mail. So long, man. Thanks. Bye. And there you have it. Chip Zdarsky, ladies and gentlemen. Daredevil number 31 and crossover coming out on Wednesday. So pick those up if you are of a mind to check out. And by the way, despite his endlessly hilarious attitude, Daredevil, deeply serious, incredibly fun. Crossover, probably going to be a little bit more ridiculous given the guest writer status of that title.
I'm pretty sure that Donny Cates Tom Sawyered him.
Yes. Oh, Huck Finned him.
Yeah, Huck Finned him. Fine.
Well, I think Tom does that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
You know, he's like, look at how fun this is.
Yeah, this is so fun working on this book.
You should
you should be the focal point of it.
I bet you wish you could have this much fun.
Right?
But you can't.
But you cannot. You know, he's like, screw you, I am gonna do it. I am gonna have fun.
Oh, okay.
I am gonna write crossover.
Go ahead. I was useless in that conversation.
I'm so sorry.
I literally couldn't get over the conversation itself, the whole scenario. I loved all of it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I just enjoyed watching it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even we mentioned Silver Coin, but
I was going to bring it up.
It's fine.
Yeah. How could you when you have like such striking raw sexuality emblazoned across the screen? You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it was. You know, we're all done with the show, right?
Yeah, show's over.
I've got no more brain power.
No, right? Yeah, an Infinite Frontier came out. Who cares?
Listen, he said it's too hot to work. I agree.
Yeah, it's not.
Actually, I think I said that.
I think you did. You know, I did mention. I did mention Heroes Return. So I guess we'll talk about it for a minute.
Oh, so we're going to start?
Yeah, why not? It's a big one, but nobody cares. You know what I mean? No one's arguing with me.
All right.
It's, of course, written by Jason Aaron with art by Ed McGuinness and Mark Morales. I believe he's doing colors.
And Cap has a beard.
Well, yeah, because he's in another like reality or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's like a mirror.
Yeah,
but he's
that's
not
right.
evil.
That's right. That's right.
Is he evil?
No, he's not. He's not Stevel. It's just Cap. But yeah, Heroes Return is the final issue of the Heroes Reborn arc.
I gotta tell you, this cover, it's like fun and classic-y looking. However, Thor just looks like he was like, huh?
Yeah, well, he basically is like that in this book. Yeah. Well, because the idea here is, of course, you know, you spent 7 issues of Heroes Reborn reestablishing the Squadron Supreme and the concept of like, here's the DC Justice League in the Marvel Universe. Here's what each of them is up to. Here's a little glimpse into what the new continuity is, with Coulson, of course, being the puppeteer, being puppeted by Mephisto, and so each issue is just like a snapshot of each member of the squadron, and then there's a backup that shows you actual story about how Blade is the only one who remembers. He's been House of M'd, and so he goes into the ice. He picks up Captain America, who had a beard for some reason, even though there's no way. Because he doesn't when he's thought out of the ice in the original book.
He's just such a man.
Right. Yeah. This version of him is more of a man.
He's got a Tom King style beard. He grew it within a few hours.
Oh, there you have it. Yeah. Good call. Poof. Nice reference.
Thank you.
But also, what's it called? So Blade like gets the band back together, so to speak, and he Wolverines them from House of M. And
wait, it wasn't just Wolverine. There was also that chick.
Yes, Layla Miller.
Yeah.
This is I will compliment Aaron on this. He absolutely does not just have a Deus Ex Machina character show up. He just bypasses that and has Blade just remember. How about just like Wolverine does, like Wolverine remembers, but Layla Miller also, because like Wolverine can't like touch them and make them remember, which I don't see why not. I mean, just do that. But like, in any case, Layla Miller has
many powers.
Yeah, Wolverine has many powers when it comes to another reality. But yeah, so anyway, then they fight and they win, and Coulson is like, no, and Mephisto's like, ha 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 ha. Even though I lose, I win, because like, even though I would never do anything like this, I'm absolutely doing something like this. So that's that.
Okay.
The issue is fine. The art's okay. It's Ed McGuinness, so it's like if you love him, you love him, and if you don't, you're not going to start now. I should say that, like, the art is fun. Like, it looks cool. You see Hyperion fighting Thor, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool looking,
Yeah.
Okay. And you get more scenes like that. Cap defeats Coulson in a ridiculously, like, simplistic way.
There's a lot of similar colored arms and things connecting to one another,
well,
and I'll be honest, there is just two big beefy
men with sleeveless shirts
grappling one another.
Yeah. Overall, was this even an event? I mean, I don't even know, but it ends in a ridiculous way that sets up more Aaron stuff. And Aaron, of course, has been paying off his own stuff for the last like decade or more. You know, like things that he put in Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine are being paid off today, and so forth. So, you know, here it is. I think that like the branding and the execution of this series was like I think it was an endeavor. You know, like it was inventive. You know.
Yeah.
But ultimately a huge dud. It was like a really weird, kind of confusing way to release this series, and ultimately,
I think it's just part of it too is like they took a title from Marvel's past that intrinsically has a lot of opinions attached
and history,
to it,
yeah,
and a history to it, and they attached it to this.
Right, this thing that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if somebody says this isn't an event, it's a story arc. Story arcs happen within the pages of their own book. This is a book that was created specifically for this story, hence event.
Yeah.
So no, it's not a story arc.
No.
It is an event. And it absolutely, by the way, it isn't an event in terms of like
Did it also have tie-ins?
Yes, it did. It had tie-ins. It had its own universe and its own setup of characters and world building. It's pretty weak.
Yeah. It
was pretty weak. But like that's the kind of stuff I expect from an event from the guy who's been like wrecking Avengers for the last couple of years.
I know, it hurts me because we all know I really liked his Doctor Strange run.
I love Aaron's work overall.
I still do.
Conan's great, as you know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm afraid when he goes back to it now.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, it'll be in its own continuity. He'll be.
No, I'm afraid that he's gonna like that his style
or...
has changed, or like his like experience with writing Avengers will have tainted his creativity. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Thank you.
But
I am putting it down.
Yes, me too. And I will continue to put down his Avengers run until he stops writing it. I should also mention Robin #3 from Joshua Williamson and Gleb Melnikov. You read this too? Melnikov. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
it's cute.
Yeah.
And like there's like a couple like there's like a little like wink and a nod to like him losing his bestie.
Yes. Yeah, that made me kind of sad actually.
Yes.
Because, you know, Ravage, I can't remember her name. Right? Yeah. Slade's daughter is like, you need to make a friend, and he's like, any friend that I've ever made.
That's my challenge to you. Make a friend.
Exactly. And he's like, any friend that I've ever made, he's either left me or aged out.
Yeah, or grew up too fast.
I was
and I'm
like, oh,
wow, that one hurt.
Rose, thank you.
That one definitely hurt.
Yeah, a lot of it. This issue felt a lot like the last issue, Ravager, where there's a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
And of course, like the setup of the last page reveal from issue 2 was Robin's gonna go to a party. Nah, not really. Or maybe he did, but it just read so fast that it's like, yeah, he did.
Yeah, no, he did. I actually really liked the party because, like, he comes in, nobody wants him there because he's a killjoy, because he's Robin, he's Damian, he can't help himself. Yep. And then he, like, endears himself to them by doing a trick with knives. Yep. And then immediately everyone starts talking about Batman instead.
Yep. He's overshadowed by his father, and he immediately, like, loses his interest in this.
And he leaves.
Also, it's funny because when he does get their attention, he's, like, making friends with, like, the wrong kind of friends. You know, they're bad eggs at the party. It's like you hooked up with the worst people.
They're all bad eggs at the party.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help but find a bad egg there.
Exactly.
But I liked that. I liked the dad thing coming up because it's like he's Damian Wayne, like, you know, he's Bruce Wayne's son, right? But like he's also a bunch of other things, and like he doesn't really need that moniker.
No.
And yet that hurts him.
Yes.
That like they don't pay attention to him. It's not because he's a
they're only Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I mean, you're not your dad.
Right. Yeah. You're you.
Right.
But which, you know, unless your dad is Batman.
Right. But I think that's why the Alfred stuff bothers him so
Absolutely.
much, because it's like Alfred accepts him for who he is and loves him for who he is.
Yeah. But that bothers him because, you know, he doesn't like letting anybody get close.
Now it's gone too. Yeah. He's like, no, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
None of it's good.
Yeah.
I also like the like sort of friendship that begins to
blossom.
To form here before obviously it can't happen. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. I like them commiserating, and I
him and Connor Hawke.
Yeah, but and like I love that image of like Green Arrow and
Batman
together, because a lot of parallels can be drawn between those two characters.
Absolutely.
And yet seemingly they have very different personalities. But according to these two, they both suck as dads.
Yes.
And have their fetishes.
Right. Yeah. Some folk like fishnets, others like leather and whips.
Yeah.
It's true. No argument there.
Yeah. So
ultimately, I think that's a good issue.
Yeah, there's a reveal.
There is a big reveal. I don't want to spoil it.
No, we're not going to.
I don't think this book is full of reveals. So,
no.
I think it's going to be more about
the
story and the journey that Damien goes on.
Yeah, there's just like one page like reveal where it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed about it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I don't like this character, didn't want to see them, nor did I not expect them to show up, but more I was like, oh, okay. It could have been anybody, and it ended up being this character that I didn't expect, but should have. And it's fine. It was cool. It didn't have the moment. It was just more like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
That's what this book is. I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you have the disposable income, you should read out Robin because it's just a fun little palate cleanser between like big, ridiculous things you're reading. But ultimately, there's no moment where you're like, oh, it's just more like, oh.
It's funny. There's like two like former Batman sidekick books coming out right now that are both fun, but in different ways.
That's true. Yeah.
Nightwing is doing its own thing right now. It's told in a very specific way with very different art.
Yeah.
But fun. Completely fun.
Agreed. Flywheel Shyster says Yowza to the Yowza, which I believe was a reference in here earlier. Thank you.
Probably to our friendship.
No doubt. Yes.
For sure.
For his appearance. Raj Patel, I like
assuming friendship.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to him. I just chuckled. I just laughed like an idiot.
No, that's what you do in the presence of madness. Raj Patel, I like how Infinite Frontier is treating an event like an investigation. Not many books talk about people dealing with the ever-changing universe. By the way, the Doom Steve convo was great in Sword. Agreed. We'll talk about Sword later. But yes. But yeah, I also really loved the setup and execution of Infinite Frontier. Williamson's doing a great job. We talked about it, actually. I don't remember if he was even on or off mic, but you should check out the episode where Josh came by. We plugged Infinite Frontier long before this issue came out. And so I a lot of these moments were very familiar because I think he told me about them. And I don't remember if it was on or off mic. And so I didn't want to spoil it. So I never talked about it out loud. But I was like, oh, that's that moment. And it's basically 52. Not to steal from Chip, but it is basically it's 52 where there's a mystery and they're dealing. It's like Identity Crisis meets 52, but in the context of a world where everyone remembers, and you're not dealing with a post-crisis or a New 52. This is an everything. This is just the DC universe now. And that's really cool. We'll talk about that more later. Ron Caterasano says, any thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy 15 and how it connects to Sword? No, I stopped reading that book, but that's cool. I'm glad that they're linking them.
If it didn't have a Hellfire sticker on it,
I didn't read it. Yeah.
It's not even a sticker. In my head, it's a sticker.
They should make a patch or something. Right?
I'd like a patch.
Z Swimmer, using the space to say, yes, I caught you guys for a second live, and Zdarsky's on. Any opinion on Infinite Frontier Secret Files? If you read it, I haven't read Secret Files yet. I don't like reading tie-ins. I really just kind of wanted to read Infinite Frontier. Especially I wanted to read books that are written specifically by Williamson because I like to read the books about the main thing by the person who's executing the main thing. But I understand he was a consultant on it, and so
okay,
I'll check it out at some point. Silver Cricket says it's established that there's only one Mephisto in the multiverse. I wonder if Mephisto divided himself up because he was lonely and it got out of hand. No, they're just going to reestablish that there is multiple Mephistos per universe because because Aaron doesn't give a shit.
Maybe it's a decoy.
Oh, a decoy!
And then that decoy
made a decoy. Yeah, maybe. Mephisto's a big Rick and Morty fan. I wouldn't surprise me. Memento Mori, peak physical performance right here. Referring to Zdarsky. Yes. B Black, I feel you, Chip. My wife's dealing with 43 degrees, which is 105 in British Columbia. Till the border opens, I'm sure it'll rain soon. But then you have to deal with the humidity. Agreed. Yes. It's already pretty hot in here, and we just had the air blast. I had the air blasting in the studio about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was very nice. And then I had turned it off because otherwise it gets in the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm not. I usually you see me with a t-shirt on of some sort. Today I was
sleeveless.
The least amount of clothing I can put on my arms is what I'm wearing today.
Yes, and apparently, as Chip's set up a new standard. Apparently, I could go topless.
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
Again, I overdressed.
This is
true.
Had
a hat on.
You had a hat on and everything. Tube's the one. Chip, how have you not been sued over crossover? Because he wrote the damn thing. He's working on it. Trust me. Denial. Heroes Return is another wet fart in Aaron's run. No question there.
Yeah, no, honestly, Donny Cates should sue Chip Zdarsky for having a likeness similar to a character he has in a book.
That's true. A character named Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
But that's a fictitious character.
I know.
It's not a real guy.
No, but obviously Chip took on that persona
and
lifestyle and look.
Yeah, you should sue for likeness rights.
Yeah.
Kane's World for the inevitable demonetization of this video. Thank you very much, Kane. Yes. Yeah, when he got like the leg up, I'm like, oh no.
YouTube's like, aha.
Yeah, gotcha. This is still a new channel, relatively. Yeah, right. Alan Osborne, Sal, and Tiffany, good to finally catch you guys live today. Also, Tiffany, your hat game is on point.
Thank you.
No question about that. Tiffany's hat game is always on point. I got you a new hat. It is on the way. Hopefully, it'll be here soon.
Is it like this?
No, it's a baseball cap.
Oh. Yay.
But it is themed specifically to a YouTube channel that we watch a lot. B Black, the scene with Hyperion looking for Peter was actually kind of sad to me. I like how Blur wanted to go back after going through hell and Nighthawk liking it. Also liked the vibranium weakness. Agreed. I liked it all. Honestly, Heroes Return was a nice kind of like satisfying conclusion. It's just kind of like, but who cares?
I think I gasped, and I don't think I should have.
No?
I think I thought it was one thing. Now I think it's something else, and that's funny.
Yes, it is funny. It's a channel we all watch together.
Yeah, I thought it was something else.
What channel did you think it was?
I watch a lot that you watch with me sometimes.
Oh, is it?
Ooh.
Is it Druffy?
Yeah.
No.
That's why.
Are they still hats?
I don't know. That's why I gasped, and then I realized I was like, "Wait, no, this is actually funny. I know what this is." Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it is.
I'm still excited.
It is.
I'm jazzed.
You can wear it while going in the mines.
I'm super jazzed.
Yeah, me too. Okay. And B Black, do you think the ending to New Mutants will have ramifications on the clone resurrection restrictions? Tiffany, what do you think? Did you read it?
Did New Mutants come out?
I don't know. I didn't buy it.
No, it did not come out.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the last one or like the impending one? Oh, you mean with Yes, he's talking about
with Gabby?
Yeah, I'm like,
we talked about it in the last episode.
Just threw me. I was like,
is there another thing?
Because
we literally talked about Gabby in the last episode. But you know, check that out. We talk all about it. I want to get into it again. But like, do you have any final thoughts about Gabby?
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder because obviously we're coming up to an event named Inferno. In the past, Inferno had to do with Madeline Pryor was a part of Inferno, obviously, and is someone who's not on the resurrection list because she's a clone.
Yeah.
And if Gabby is dead and is revealed that she is, and she is resurrected, that's gonna cause a shitstorm.
Agreed.
So yeah. By the way, those Druffy people should come on our show.
Oh my god!
I don't even know what the show would be.
I've been meaning
care.
to
They're
reach
just
out to
so
them.
funny.
I will.
I seriously.
I will contact.
They are
them.
like some of the most incredibly creative people.
They are so creative, so funny.
I watched an old video of theirs today that just got recommended to me.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
Nice.
It was such a great idea, and it was in the days before they were released from College Humor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Photo Chopped. Yeah,
that's
hilarious.
Cute.
Go ahead.
So I read the new issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 69 from both Nick Spencer and Ed Brisson, with art by Zé Carlos Gomez, and Marcelo Ferreira. 3 different people drew this regular-sized issue of Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's more of the same. That's it. I wish I had more to say. It's just, we've talked about this series at length. It's sometimes it reads great, sometimes it reads meh. This is one of those mehs, but it's still, knowing that it's culminating towards something, gives it more gravitas. I think that ultimately, it's one of those, the Chameleon Conspiracy. It's another one of those like things that Spencer's doing to clean house. Like I think that the Chameleon Conspiracy is another, like, it's like the Craven book where it's like, here's a story that will put Teresa back in the box. Okay. I mean, like, I want you to, so that works for me.
Right.
Otherwise, not a lot going on in terms of like the ongoing saga of Peter Parker and Mary Jane and stuff like that. Like all the stuff I care about, like Aunt May doesn't appear, it's like still doesn't feel like Spider-Man. But it's doing fine. What else did you read?
I started to get ready, and then I was like, I want to listen to what you've got.
Well, while you do, I'll thank Dante Cook for his support. Thank you so much, Dante, man. I really, really appreciate it. And he mentioned something earlier. He said it was his first time catching us live.
Hey,
and let's see here. He said, Holy crap, I'm able to catch you guys live. I wanted to thank you guys and Benny for so long for helping me get into comics. Please take my money and stay safe. We will. Dante, thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah. And Denial's a question for Tiffany while you get ready. He says, I'm curious how Tiffany feels about the revealed villain behind the Cosmic Marvel's last Annihilation event. I wonder how Ewing will write him.
Well, he's not being used by anybody else, and with no real magic books on the table, it's not surprising that they would just toss him in there.
Nope.
However, without talking about a book that we will be talking about, I do wonder if this doesn't tie into some reveals that we got this week thanks to the Hellfire Gala, in particular 2 characters rekindling a relationship, not romantically speaking, of course, but their role that might play in that. And also the fact that, don't forget, there's also that like Strange Academy book going on in which Doyle Dormammu is attending school.
Yes.
So I don't
Which
know.
I don't think anybody else is reading in terms
no,
of
I'm
in
sure,
the bullpen.
I'm sure not. But like I said, like no one else is using characters like this right now simply because the fact there isn't a main book in which they could appear that would truly make sense or that people would want to deal with, because I feel like a lot of writers stay away from magic if they don't have a magically inclined character unless they're doing an event for it, because it's confusing and a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm sure Ewing will do a great job. I have absolute faith in him.
Totally. Yeah. Out of anybody. I mean, it's Al Ewing, Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
And the fact is, I mean, like, sure, maybe Sword will play a role, but maybe it'll be a Recco.
Yeah.
He'll show and be like, okay, never mind.
Right?
These folk are crazy.
Right.
They're ready to go. They're ready 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever the like galactic unit of time measurement or day measurement is.
Right. It's like Men in Black, where it's like you'll get used to it or experience a psychotic episode. So what do you got queued up?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman
774 came out.
Sweet.
Oh my god! If I get one more push notification about the weather, I'm going.
It's really hot out.
I'm like, stop!
I don't know if you know this.
It's just nothing but all weather all the time now. This is written by Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan with art by Andy McDonald.
What a gorgeous cover!
Different artists, yes. By the way, Matteo Bagara has an upcoming cover.
Yeah,
I think for not this, but for the Wonder Woman Black and Gold.
Oh, cool!
Book, but this made me think of it.
Yeah,
because it's done in this sort of like clay art, or clay pot art style.
Awesome!
It's just dope. It's just really dope.
Yeah.
Really think of it. Anyway, yeah, we return to Olympus. Like we're getting back to Wonder Woman's own mythology in a way. Bringing Ratatasker with us. Ratatasker reveals to her that he actually is the one that pulled her into Valhalla, because he was like, oh, I needed help. I needed to save the tree. And also, you know, the fact is this was filled up. You couldn't come here.
Right.
She's like, when it was filled up, like her spot was filled.
Oh, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Indeed.
I don't know.
When they get there, Olympus is burning, which is like a dope thing to say.
Yep.
I
it's almost like saying Olympus has fallen.
I know, but Olympus is burning. So thank you, Conrad and Cloonan, for allowing me to say that out loud.
Great title.
And immediately she starts looking for any survivors, and she comes across a man crushed beneath a pillar. He's still alive, although, you know, because he's a god. But she's like, I don't recognize this guy. She's like, that's weird.
Right.
So they get him out of there, and she goes to like search for Hermes' staff in order to bring him back.
Okay.
And while she's away, Ratatasker like opens. By the way, I got this thing about eyeballs.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
I got this thing about eyeballs. It's part of the reason why I don't wear contacts.
You can't.
They should just be here, and nothing should touch them. And yet I'm willing to put eyeliner on and do my makeup in the car sometimes when we're driving somewhere. But other than that, I got this thing about eyeballs, and in this, Ratatasker is meant to watch over this unknown individual, and he's like, I know who you are, blah 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 blah, and then he takes his little like squirrel claws and like opens his eyelid up, and I was no, I'm out.
Yeah, your little squirrel hands, no, forget it, they're too sharp.
I'm so nope, not okay with that. Stop, that was horrific, and I hate you. But it's revealed, by the way, they bring him back, and like she's like, I really don't know who you are. Like when he stands up, like his back is opened.
Oh.
And there's like
Buffalo Bill opened it?
Kind of. And there's like meat back there. Like you don't see a spine, you see like brainy meat.
Right. Like ground hamburger.
Yeah. And then like it's revealed that he is Janus.
Oh, okay. The two-faced god.
Yes. Who has no Greek allegory.
Right.
And so he's like, it's a little weird for me. I didn't get to come over with everybody else, but like Hermes let me in and said it was fine. And then inevitably the other side of him, the other Janus who sees the future, saw the future in which Wonder Woman destroys Olympus and kills the gods.
Oh.
And was like, well, I'll just put a stop to that, and like removed herself from him.
Okay.
And went and got, instead of like the god killer, she got the god scraper.
Oh.
Which is like stop.
No.
And she takes on the visage of Wonder Woman, which is interesting because we've been seeing a lot of dark Wonder Women lately.
Yes, we have. Whether they're Wonder Woman wearing metal outfits and wielding invisible chainsaws, whether you're talking about the witching hour versions of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. We also saw like a hint of something like this when she was in Valhalla.
Yes.
But
so here she is again.
Yeah. So like essentially she was like, in order to keep out the one who would do this, I'll take the role of it because I see the future, and so she kills all the gods.
Right.
And so Wonder Woman's like, oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
She uses the lasso she took from the Valkyries to test him because she doesn't have her lasso, and it's seemingly he's telling the truth.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, Ratatask indicates that's not so.
Okay.
She calls on Boston Brand to come back and hang out.
Yay.
And she's like, you might have, like, listen. When you said Olympus was falling,
right?
You might have wanted to mention that everyone was also dying. He's like, what? I did not know that.
Yeah.
This is news to me. So that's why I didn't rush you, because I thought it was all cool.
Yeah.
But like, she needs to go and find the gods in order to talk to them to find out what truly happened. She leaves Janice behind being like, I know where to find you. So like, you best not be lying to me.
Right.
Right. So she's like, all right. So Dead Man is not accompanying her because I think he's just chilling. And she and Ratatask are going to go and take the elevator through Tartarus down, which is like a really cool. No, that's right. She missed Dead Man down there. He's like, I'll meet you there. That's
okay.
What it was. He's like, I'll meet you there.
I'm a ghost. I can do it.
I'll go my own way. You go your own way.
Sure.
But Tartarus is like really depicted in a neat way. Because it's just like gods and titans like chained to the wall. She sees Kronos, who she's like, I put him there, and like has this moment of being like he's like crying out to her to have mercy, and she's like, oh, and Boston's like, no, listen, like some people deserve to be here, and like you can't have justice without this like other side of it as well. Like, he did wrong and you dispense justice, and this is what happens. Like, she's like, there has to be a better way for me to help people that doesn't involve this.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, not really.
That's funny.
But her inevitable like journey that we're going to be taking with her is Wonder Woman is going to the graveyard of the gods, which is, I believe, established during the Scott Snyder Justice League era. So she's going to go through there.
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, she's been there before.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she doesn't like, again, her memory's like a little like
fuzzy.
Yeah, still. So
yeah.
I'm sure this is going to be cool, and I'm looking forward to learning more. I definitely enjoyed the Valhalla stuff a little more. She even has a moment where she's like, I should have just stayed in Valhalla. I was like, they could have seen how awesome I was, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was a real place for me.
Right. Agreed.
But I have to do this, so I'm here.
Right. Dex Baker says, I usually have either Draw Fee or Comic Pop constantly passing through the day. Here's some money. Thank you very much, Dex.
So much.
And thanks for keeping us in that wheelhouse.
Appreciate
happy
that.
to. Silvery Cricket, I love the way Way of X was great this week. Hope the book keeps the current energy. Just getting all into weird nooks and crannies of Krakoa. Right.
Well, don't forget that book will end, I think, with issue 4, and then a new book will start up.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. Then written by Cy Spurrier.
Yes.
So it'll have the same like creative energy, but just in a different title.
Exactly. Daniel Ryan, I started Watchmen, and it made me think, why is the style often called Watchmen 9-panel grid? Did older comics have this format before Watchmen? Yeah. I mean, comic books used them, and comic books had used them before Watchmen. It's just that Watchmen relied on it heavily. It was very much like it was a design aesthetic choice that was used in Watchmen.
I would also say that like there was so much intent behind said panels that like it wasn't just a means to get information on a page.
No,
it was a means in which like more relied on the story to be told.
Exactly. So yeah, let's see. I will talk briefly about Detective 1038.
Suit Up.
This is the Batman book I'm reading, besides Batman Urban Legends, of course, which is great, by the way. It's just that the new one didn't come out
and
recently.
The Detective.
and The Detective. Yes, the Tom
You're
Taylor
actually
book.
reading 3.
I am reading through. I'm reading all the Batman books except for
and
Jamestown and the Fourths.
I was gonna say, and the Joker.
Yes,
And
I am still
Joker.
reading Joker. Yeah, and a new one, Batman Reptile,
Yes.
which we should talk about.
Yes, we should.
So yeah, Detective 1038 from, of course, Mariko Tamaki with art by our old pal Victor Bogdanovic.
Yay, Vic!
It kind of, they established this new villain a couple of issues ago, or several issues ago, who is like a Gotham elite named Roland Worth, who is like an inhumanly big dude. He looks like Kraven the Hunter.
He's powered by money.
And he's just powered by money and rage. His daughter was murdered, and he blames Batman and Bruce Wayne and stuff like that. It's like
he's literally the opposite of Batman.
Yeah,
Kind of.
yeah.
He's like an allegory.
Right. He's like Venom for Batman, where he blames everybody else except for himself.
Right, but he's like, I'm a big rich dude.
Yes,
and I use my money to get what I need done.
that's right. Like,
Okay.
and I blow up police stations with bazookas, and it's a fun story. We also are like really leaning into Batman teaming up with Huntress more. I guess like when Batman has nothing, he teams up with Huntress. It happened in the one with the earthquake, and it happened with this, where it's like when I have no money and no resources, I team up with Huntress, and that's the only time.
Or when the Predator's there.
Or when the Predator's there, but even then, like yeah. But it's in the.
I was like, did that happen?
Yes, it did. Predator 2, Batman Predator 2 Bloodbath or Bloodlines or whatever. But it's a fun issue. It continues the story, and I'm very much enjoying this journey. It feels very Batman.
That's a good thing to feel.
Yeah, it feels very Batman, and like it feels Batman like the way the Batman has been set up from Snyder's era onward. But very much in a tonally different place, which I really appreciate it. Cool stuff. Just overall, I recommend it. Check it out. I guess we'll talk about Way of X number 3.
Do you want? Wait, hang on. Let's not launch into Way of X.
Oh, that's right. The reading order is different.
Let's talk about Wolverine real quick.
So about Wolverine.
Because I picked up Wolverine and I read it this week.
You did. You picked it up and you read it.
And I read it. You can't say I didn't. It was Wolverine number 13, written by Ben Percy with art by
Scott Eaton.
Scott Eaton. There it is. This book. All right. So there is and there is not a reading order.
Right.
To Hellfire Gala. You could technically read them however you want in a way, because the idea seemingly behind the Hellfire Gala is here's this gala, here's this thing going on. Now, all of these books are going to give you little pieces and oftentimes retell certain things or show you different perspectives for
the same event.
For the same event until you have the full picture.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we zoomed in and first we had like kind of this like overview, but a lot of it was like foggy, and then we zoom in. And, you know what I mean? I would say though that Wolverine, the reading order, if you wanted it in a more chronological order, would be Wolverine, Sword, Way of X.
Right.
For this
of the
week.
books that came out this week.
Of the books that came out this week. That's what I would go with. So this book cover indicated that Wolverine and Deadpool were going to fight. They kind of already did that.
Yeah.
And they do not. So
so it's one of those lying covers.
They don't do that. Instead, what they do is, remember they had the Veridine? Is that what they're called? I want to make sure I get this right. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering the name. The tree people.
Yes.
But not those tree people.
Not the one you're talking about. The ones from X-Force.
Yes, not the tree people. The Terra Verdine.
Verdine.
I'm adding extra R's and A's.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm making it Veridine, like they're Veridine, but they're not. They're Verdine.
They're Verdine,
which makes more sense.
Or the Verdant,
yeah.
Verdant.
Yeah, but they could deal with that because
verdant
Beast,
means full of plant life.
Beast screwed everything up.
Yeah, of course.
Like he messed up everything by like essentially he took over their civilization.
Yeah,
and like reprogrammed them to like work as spies for Krakoa and for him. And Emma found out.
Yep.
And something happened in the code essentially, and like they were all able to break free, and so they are breaking free, and so X-Force is dealing with that cleanup at the party because certain high-ranking ambassadors all of a sudden are tree people. So they have to deal with that, and part of the way in which they deal with it are fighting, but also in terms of using Kid Omega to like he's doing the Men in Black thing.
He wiping people's
he
minds.
wipes that part, like gives them like he gives this one guy like a memory where he's just like, yeah, you had like a tryst in the bathroom, and he's like,
Cool.
back to the party.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they got to put this genie back in the bottle, and so what they end up doing is they make peace with them.
Okay.
In which like they remove all that code. They're going to go back. They're going to be paid $1 billion for economic and emotional damages. X Corp can no longer use any pharmaceutical or technological copyrights to telefloronic technology.
Oh my God.
That the Terra Verde have under development.
Okay.
And the vote on recognizing the Krakoan trade deal is now a no from them.
Nice. Way to go, Beast.
Yeah. So Beast nailed it. Like 100%.
Yep.
He did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he and Emma have a conversation in which he's just like,
I do it again in a heartbeat. 'Cause that's me.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even read the book, and I know that's Beast.
Yeah. He's like, listen, Krakoa isn't a nation. It's a god. Like we need to treat people like that, and they need to understand that.
Shut up, Beast.
And like Emma's talking to him, and she's like, don't be ridiculous.
You're right.
Like, when Emma's telling you that, you
should
messed
listen.
up. You messed up. But he's like, the fact is, like Charles knew the hardest decisions we made in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's what I'm here for.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do.
You're Beast.
Yeah.
You're not Wolverine.
Yeah.
But this is a Wolverine book, right?
Yeah, this is the Wolverine book, but he is on X-Force, so...
But this isn't an X-Force book.
No.
So Wolverine will eventually be appearing in this book.
This is the Hellfire... Well, he is in the book, but not really. The Hellfire... This Hellfire Gala issue of Wolverine is treated more like Ten of Swords was, where it was like a lot of times the story...
Just continuing the X-Force story.
Yeah. Wolverine is in it. You know, he fights he fights one of the tree people.
No.
And then like Deadpool helps save Domino. And then they all hang out at the bar afterwards, and like Deadpool gets to go.
Oh, that's nice.
And then Deadpool writes a letter to Wolverine, like asking to please be part of X-Force and to join the club.
Okay.
Obviously that's not going to happen.
No.
Also, do you remember when Emma got that weird delivery of like crystals?
Yeah.
And they like, she's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. And that like, I guess Christian was supposed to be delivering them to Madripoor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that boat got taken over. I think he was killed and dumped into the water, and the boat's on fire.
Cool. Okay. Nice.
10 out of 10. I believe it's the Marauder.
X out of 10.
So this book was fine. Like, I think Percy needed to like get certain things in order. He had to wrap up this part of the gala. I wasn't in love with this one, especially as like in terms of being a Wolverine book. Not really, not with what we've been seeing a lot of the books end up being, where it really highlights the character or team that's involved. But he really was not part of this too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just establishes exactly what we knew about Beast, that like he's a dick and like everyone's kind of looking the other way on it right now.
Yeah.
Emma calls him a bastard. That's kind of it.
Okay. Oh no.
And he's like, that's fine. I'll be that.
That's too bad.
I'll be that bastard.
Right, of course.
I'm like, okay. All right, Beast.
All right, Beast.
All right, Beast.
There you go. Well, do you recommend it?
I mean, in terms of like, even as a Hellfire Gala issue, it's kind of weak, except for the fact that if you're like, wait, those tree people, how did they fix that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's easy to fix when you have someone like Kid Omega there who can just make you forget.
Yeah.
Even though they said they weren't going to use their powers on people while they were there.
Danny V900 says, I know you both aren't really into Black Hammer universe, but I would recommend Black Hammer Reborn. You can start with it. It tells you everything you need to know about the universe. Cool. Good jumping on point. He also says, so you won't be lost, and it's great. Agreed. There you go. Aiden Thenhaus or Thenaw says, check out Drawfee of Phobias as supervillains.
Nice. I think I saw that one. I haven't gotten around to it. I watch like random. I try to watch the most recent ones, and then I'll just pick random ones.
Yes. Be Black, interesting seeing the parallel between humans and mutants with mutants and Terra Verte. As a cosmic empire, you have the reptilian race they assassinated.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Newton JB Lee with Heroes Reborn and Ben Reilly news. How do you feel about the wave of 90s nostalgia? Because in recent years, there have been fans who defend that era with words like, there was good stuff beyond Liefeld. Yeah, no, I mean like there was.
Yeah, the fact is every era is going to have something that's good if it's something that like really strikes someone.
Yeah. My issue with the 90s nostalgia in comics right now is kind of like when you see it, it seems like it's pandering or hollow or needed to go through a meat grinder in order to come out.
Mhm.
And so as a result, like you're not actually getting like payoff or you're getting lip service or you're getting somebody who like only kind of sort of remembers it. And so you're not really getting like good payoff. Like I haven't seen Ben Reilly since the like 90s.
That's not true.
No, I mean, I haven't seen Ben Reilly as Ben Reilly since the 90s.
Okay.
Like Ben Reilly hasn't been the same character since his resurrection.
Mm.
And you know, like there was like some like weird Dan Slott book with like a Velociraptor themed villain that he made up for one issue, and Ben Reilly was referenced in that. And it's like the closest thing you got to actually Ben Reilly. But after Clone Conspiracy, like it's just not Ben. Like whatever you're doing is not Ben. And like, you know, they want you to remember Ben but not use him, so they used Kane, and it was like that's not Ben either, that's Kane, and that's not really even Kane, but like at least he went through some kind of like character progression. You know, he went through the rigors, but like it still worked out for him in terms of like developing the character into something else. So I feel like with stuff like that, it's just kind of lip service as opposed to it being like real payoff. It's not just it just feels weird,
right,
and kind of pandery.
And I mean, I'd also say that technically it started in '89, but Sandman
started
in '89.
Yeah, but people like remember the stuff from the '90s.
Came out in the '90s.
Yeah, Preacher came from the '90s. Like most of the like Vertigo stuff you like and remember came from the 90s.
Yeah, so it's like it just depends on what you're looking at and what's being celebrated.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah. And Silvery Cricket says, do you think Mr. Immortal will be brought up in the X-Men? He is a Homo Supreme, the apparent evolutionary stage after mutants. I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, there's plenty more to talk about. I really quick, I'm going to just touch upon this because I don't want to get into it because I don't want to break up your momentum with X-Men, but I wanted to get through it really quick.
Yeah.
We had Todd McFarlane on the show on Elseworlds Exchange.
It's a long issue.
It was, and that's the funny thing. People were like, Todd McFarlane talking about his books are going to be $2.99, and then he's charged like $5.99 for this book. It's like, yeah, the book has like, I don't know, I think it's 59 pages, something like that. Yeah, there's 57, 58 pages, not including all the variant covers that came with it. So that's
essentially a triple issue.
Yeah, it's basically a triple issue. So Spawn's universe, number 1, is kind of setting up and explaining like what the universe of Spawn's going to be and all the new like Spawn books that are coming out. So if you're interested in seeing what Spawn's going to be like, you might want to check this out. This has like a billion variant covers. This is the J. Scott Campbell of She-Spawn, who is actually Jessica Priest, the retconned woman who killed Al Simmons in the first place, who is now a Spawn herself. The issue's fine. It's you know, there's a couple of spelling errors and grammatical errors that I noticed immediately, and I was like, the art's fun, and the story is it's quintessentially Spawn. So if you read Spawn in the 90s, you'll be like, oh wow, it's still going exactly the way it was when I stopped reading like 30 years ago. It's exactly the same kind of book.
Okay.
And with the exact same kind of like, you know, hints at greater things and bigger stories and, you know, kicking the can down the road. So, you know, but there's going to be more titles that kind of pay it off and highlight those characters.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. But I tried it out and it was an interesting ride. But otherwise, you know, didn't come out too great. Not arguing, but you know, it's fine.
That's fine.
And then Danby900 says a couple more things, so let's take a minute and talk about that. I don't know if you would agree, but I honestly think that a lot of Ben Reilly love comes from his appearance in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon finale. There wasn't the baggage from the actual Clone Saga. I sincerely doubt that is the case because he's only in that one episode, and I don't know how many people have actually seen the 90s Spider-Man cartoon who were born in the last 2 decades. He also says, I certainly thought Ben Reilly was cool from that finale, but that was without reading the Clone Saga stuff as a kid. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's really more your experience getting to know who Ben Reilly was. I do remember that episode because I watched it like within a year, and I can tell you that Ben does not have much of a character in that episode because no one does, and it's the 90s Spider-Man cartoon show. Like, you're lucky if Spider-Man has a character. Peter Parker, of course, is very well established, but like everybody else, not so much. Cookie cutters, one-dimensional. It's very simple. It's for children. It's fine. But, you know, Ben doesn't get much. You know. It's fine. But as far as the comics go, when Ben was first established in the comics, you know, it was Peter Parker with blonde hair. So he had the same reactions, but he also had a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in terms of like the fact that the love for him probably comes from the fact that creators are using him or want to use him
Mhm.
because they grew up reading him.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so like you're gonna like as like new creators come in, you're gonna start seeing more of the stuff that they're used to seeing
Yes.
and like they're used to reading.
Yeah. Yeah. I do remember people liking Ben when I was a kid and me being really confused. Like I was like, why? He's just fake. Like there's not enough for him to be there. And it's just people don't like Ben Reilly. People just want to read Spider-Man without the baggage. Jermox says, just wanted to show some love. Well, thank you very much,
Thank
Jermox.
you.
I'm growing tired of the mutants talking about superiority, so I am surprised to find that Way of X is the X book made for me. It's really analyzing and deconstructing what is happening.
That's what we've said that before, that like there is such a broad scope of X titles right now. There is probably one for you out there if you have any interest in the X-Men. You just got to find it.
Mhm.
But I know I agree. I think that Way of X came at the right time, and I'm glad that they held off on it.
Yes.
Because if this book had come out, it would have undercut the momentum that this was having, where we were all just along for the ride, and maybe we were starting to formulate these questions ourselves. Some of us immediately, some of us as we were going along. But for now, for like a book to like take characters who are like, especially this last issue, which we will get into, I think it's brilliant. And I'm glad Cy Spurrier definitely was the one who is writing this. Like, it's just such a great idea.
So let's talk about Sword.
Yeah.
Sword number 6 from Al Ewing and Valerio Scitti.
I don't have that cover.
No.
I have one of the variants. I've got the Dowderman
Storm Hellfire Gala costume.
I had to have that.
Of course.
Because I love Storm.
I know. Well, then you must really enjoy this issue.
I love this issue so much.
I read this issue before Tiffany, and I was like, "You're really gonna like this book."
Sword is easily one of my favorite. It has been. I mean, I was excited for Sword before it came out because Abigail Brandt was going to be.
I know.
And then hey, it turns out it's just a well-written book created by Al Ewing with art by Valerio Scitti, who's just an incredible artist. This is a great team.
Yep.
Working on this book. I love every issue, even the issues that tied into
King in Black.
Because don't forget, we had like 2 tie-ins. That did progress the story, but we had 2 tie-ins in the middle of this. So it's like, I'm just so excited that it's just coming out now.
Yeah.
But yes, this Hellfire Gala issue comes after the revelation of Mars being terraformed.
Yes, for Arakko. Like literally
Arakko.
Just like, here, we'll give him
for Arakko, which is funny because it's clear that like a lot of humans are not getting that. They're like, the mutants have taken over.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you wanted us to get rid of, you didn't like the mutants on Earth. That we got that message.
Right.
So we took care of that.
Yeah. Well, not like that.
Okay. I thought you'd put them in the sun or something.
Well, you kill them. Yeah.
That's what
we
do. To do. Or you come make them work for us. That's it. Those are the 2 options.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you lived through all the years of us dealing with mutants? But we get this dope conversation between Cap and Dr. Doom. Also, we get like a little stuff with Gyrick here.
Yes.
Little
guy we're talking to. I think it's the dude from Alpha Flight.
The Maple Leaf Avenger.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
But that's setting up some stuff for Orcus. Orcus is an ever-present threat, and it's not going away.
I like that Gyrick had the balls to go to the freaking Hellfire Gala and say Orcus out loud.
I
like
think,
Cap heard it out loud.
I think,
and you think Xavier's not like taking that information? I mean, come on.
I think the bigger question is why invite him? That's so ballsy. Why would you do that?
Here's my question: if you invite him, why not add it, like stick a Trojan horse in there?
Maybe they did.
I hope so. If Gyrick's there, how could they not have been prepared? Really
know.
Weird. Anyway.
Listen, the big takeaway here is the Doom Cap conversation, because it's just a really fantastic conversation between the 2 of them where like Doom's like, what do you think?
Yeah, so
what's up?
You got a real problem with this, huh?
Yeah, come on.
Because I do. Yeah, let's team up.
And like Steve is Steve through and through, and like really nicely written, where like he recounts his loss of everyone he knew from falling into the ice and then being thawed and having no one there. And then Tony showing up and like showing him
where we've
on his
gone.
phone,
Right.
presumably like we went to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately Cap's like, oh, that's amazing. And that happened then. And now we're this much farther along. So we must have gotten to Mars. So like Mars, right? Do we live there? What's going on with that? And Tony like gives him a sad smile and changes the subject.
Yes. And I really like that because it's like, yeah, no, we're not there anymore.
Yeah.
As a country, as a world, like we're not prioritizing space like
right.
we did.
Right. I also like that he says like when they landed on the moon, it's for all mankind, and that like he gave him hope. And so like he's like, that's really cool. But like the fact is it's like they did do it, and like we're watching from the sidelines, and I just wish we could have done it together.
Yeah.
Like he just wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. I feel like I don't see them as mutants. I see them as people like me.
Yeah. But like I like that because there's like a couple of levels to Steve's sadness.
Yes.
And like, but it's also his joy.
Like, yeah.
Because like I think he's like they did it.
Right.
Like, Mars is colonized and that's amazing. And he's also like, you know, I personally wish I could have been a part of this.
Yes.
And then I think there's the like you said, the mankind thing, but I think he recognizes in saying that he's like, while they have painted a target on their backs, mankind hasn't really given them a choice. And I feel like there's something there to that as well.
Agreed.
Where he's like, I wish we had all come further.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we aren't, and here we are. And so like everybody's mad about it. And
Doom's like, ugh.
Yeah, Doom's like,
whatever.
Okay, cool, whatever. Listen, there's gonna come a time where you're gonna
need me.
You're gonna need me. I'm not gonna make a big Hellfire event out of it when you do.
That was awesome.
So just give me a call.
I won't throw a gala about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, good call, Doom.
Have you met Emma Frost, Doom? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You know,
I'm surprised Doom hasn't gotten involved, by the way, because he used to sleep with Morgan Le Fay. I'm surprised he wasn't like, I would love to see that.
What, him and Emma?
No, Doom. Doom find Apocalypse's little like lair of science
Apocalypse
fiction.
Is gone.
I know, but just find like, you know, what
she's
they've
out,
done to her.
don't forget.
Yeah, she's free.
She's free. She's out there. I thought like, you know, the idea that like he'd like, you know, he and Emma.
Oh yeah, no.
That's like
Doom does not want Emma anywhere near his brain.
That's just oil and fire right
That's
there.
right.
It's just an explosion waiting to happen.
But
then we cut back to Sword, where they're hosting a like meeting of galactic emissaries from all over. Some we know, some I'm less familiar with. We get guess what, guys? Guess what? We get a fun little diagram, little chart here. Well, this little chart's gonna help you out. It's gonna be your friend. It's gonna let you know what's up. But we get the run-in of the individuals involved, one of which was the lizard lady, oh my god, what's her name? I don't remember what her name is. Yes, Empress Kuga from the Zernex Empire. Remember the one that Sword helped when they revealed that they had some other players in deep space to like set up that empire, so they were a friend. The Shi'ar Empire, obviously friend.
Yeah.
I love that Richard Ryder's there. He's a real dick about it.
Yeah.
About the whole thing. But essentially, they like lay down the law. They're like, yeah, we terraform Mars, and like some of the emissaries are like, so
right, who cares?
Like, I don't. We live in space. Like, we live on our own. We got our own going. And you think all of a sudden that like the Sol system is ready to be part of like galactic dealings?
They're like, no, we're telling you it is.
Yeah, they very much are, and they're like, okay, sure, and like. Richard Ryder's like, yeah, honestly, you know, this is ridiculous.
Yep.
And you probably should have like spoken to any of us beforehand. And I love it because Frenzy's like, hey, where were you when Null showed up?
His response is great too, though, because he's like, I was saving like millions of people in another place.
Right. But he looks away because he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
so
right.
I should have probably been helping at where he was.
Right. No one wanted to write about me.
No one wanted to write about me, and I didn't really want to deal with Null head on. So
no.
I'll just go over here and help these people. But they also revealed they've come up with a new metal that they have like a special formula to. That's like it's like Star Trek metal. It's super.
Yeah, it's unobtainium. It's
super light. It's crazy durable.
It's transparent aluminum.
Yeah, but the idea that like they want to help bolster the economy, the galactic economy, with it
because the economy's wrecked
because of Null, and they're like, the thing is, we'd like you to consider calling the new currency
Sol.
The Sol.
Yes. Yeah, well, it normalizes us and it makes us kind of like synonymous with everything.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
have to refer to like our system.
Yeah, can we just also talk about Star-Lord's antlers? Because a character will bring those up, and I'm like, why?
They are ridiculous.
They are ridiculous, but he loves them.
I assume they're Spartaxian or something.
I'm sure. So several, we get another chart at one point. Don't worry if you weren't paying attention to who took and who didn't take the deal.
There it is.
There it is. You're
Wakanda's
fine.
classic. We don't need mutant metal.
Wakanda, we'll take it, but as a sign of,
like as a gesture. We're not
gesture.
going to use it.
We don't need it. We don't need your crap. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're better than
We have vibranium. We don't need your made up bullshit.
Yeah. But they're like, essentially, Brand's all finished up, and she's like, any questions? And then
the Doom shows up again.
Just shows up. He's like, hey.
Yes, I have a question. Oh, who gives a shit? And does anyone remember when I was God like 6 years ago?
He's like, who gives a crap, and why wasn't I invited?
Right.
And also, Peter,
you look ridiculous. You look like an asshole.
You got to take this off, man.
Yeah.
All right. Like, I can't even with this right now. I don't even care about you.
It's like, first of all, Doom, you don't know how to plan it. You're just a jerk.
Yep.
But it's great. Great that Doom's here. Just Hickman being like, Hickman didn't write it, but Hickman being like, make Doom a thing.
Yeah, get Doom.
We're not gonna let him go.
No. Listen, we had a whole thing with Doom and Franklin, and now that Franklin's off the table,
I can't use Franklin. I'm gonna use Doom.
Get Doom back in here.
Yeah.
Get it. He's gonna have a real problem with this.
Yeah. There's literally an event, like one of the first events during the Dawn of X was the Fantastic Four crossover where they deal with Doom. Like Doom is an ever-present threat for the X-Men.
What's
which is great.
the deal with Doom?
Can't wait. I love it.
But essentially, Doom's like, this is ridiculous. The very idea that that Mars would be the center of everything. I wouldn't be a part of it. And who's the king of Mars then?
Yes.
Who's this voice for soul?
Yes.
And Brand's like, Manifold.
Would you do the honors?
Yeah, she barely indicates because she's her. I think they're all connected somehow. And he opens up a gateway and this hand comes through.
Yes.
And then I turn the page. And I was like, well, this book can do no wrong. This book can do no wrong. Because from it, Storm shows up with just letting him know what's what.
Yep.
Calls herself the Wind Rider, all of it. And she's casting, she's got all sorts of lightning and wind going on.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm the voice of soul. I'm
yes.
Like, yes, you are. That's why you left Marauders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're wasting me on Marauders. Goodbye.
Yeah. But what are you going to say to that, Doom?
Oh,
okay.
Well, I see this is all in order.
And we're in good hands.
All right, goodbye.
I'll be back later. But we're not going to even deal with that because we have to go deal with something else entirely, which took me by surprise. And I'm glad I read them in this order because I remembered you saying that this came beforehand.
Yes.
So we cut back to the after party where Magneto is just hanging out.
It's just like the morning. Like, for God's sake.
He's just hanging out at Emma's house, just drinking.
Yep.
Like, just patting himself on the back.
Yeah, talking to his own goddamn helmet about what a friggin' awesome guy he is.
We did it himself. He's like, here's to you, me. Our die great.
Yeah. Here's to you, me.
I believe that's the classic Latveria toast.
Yes.
But he hears a voice behind him that says Magnus, and you're like,
Who
could this be?
Well, probably Professor X? No,
it's Scarlet Witch. It's Wanda Maximoff, the boogeyman herself.
Yep.
Shows up. She's like, I got your invitation. Magneto invited her.
Does she have a flower?
No.
Then how'd she get through the gate?
She might have used magic. She maybe didn't use...
That's a gate behind her.
Well, she's bathed in light for sure, but she could definitely just use magic.
She could.
Doom did it.
She could. Or we're getting ready for a retcon.
Don't forget, we're not on Krakoa.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're not on Krakoa.
That's right. She can't go to Krakoa.
She can't go to Krakoa. She's not technically on Krakoa. They're in Mykenes.
Yeah.
Mykenes? I don't know. But they have a conversation about how he's like, oh, I wanted you to see the fireworks. I was hoping you would be here. And
right. She's like, no.
I really couldn't bring myself to face all of them.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Right.
Like, she calls herself the Pretender.
Yep.
And he tells her about his daughter, and they, just about when he was before he knew he had mutant powers, or he recognized that he had mutant powers, and he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
And he's like,
they killed her, of course.
Yes, of course. But he's I built this world, or I built that world, and I'm happy for the children.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not for me. I'm too old.
Right.
I'm doing this for
even
them.
though I'm in a younger body, but whatever.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, I could just get killed.
My brain's too old. at this point.
That's fair.
Like he's just
Yeah.
like, no, it's for them. And he says like, but like he thinks about how he's failed his children, all of them.
All
He's
of
like,
them.
I'm not your kid.
Right. It's like, yeah, but like you are.
But you are like,
Yeah.
and then they embrace.
Yep.
And he's like, you'll always be my daughter and I'm going to make things right. I'm like, uh-oh.
What does that mean?
Don't do that.
Yeah. What do you mean make things right?
Everybody's got like a little vice,
Mhm.
right? Everybody's got like a little like.
Yeah. No one
thing.
can just be happy in paradise. Everybody's got a little thing that's going on.
Everyone Moira's like, could you guys just keep together?
Yeah.
for
Could you
like
stop
a
screwing
goddamn
things up for
second?
me?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
I just don't. I told you everything. I showed you the future.
Yeah.
I showed you all the future.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I'm gonna be fine.
It's totally cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I really, really dug this issue quite a bit. A lot happens. We deal with the fact that obviously Brand is aware of
Yes.
the galactic presence of this, and she must have been brought in. She knows about the second starbase.
Yes.
Whether or not she agrees with the idea of Magneto and the others having done this. It does give her a good foothold
Yes.
in terms of like how she likes to think of Earth
Yep.
in general.
She doesn't give a shit.
She's like, it's one voice for everybody. I
Yeah.
don't care.
It's everybody. Mm-hmm.
Like you guys are all worried about it being mutants or whatever, but like no, we actually have like a united front right now, and that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay? So like I was like, this is cool. And then on top of it, to add the Magneto stuff, where it was like, oh, by the way, he also invited Wanda.
Right. It's awesome. It's a great moment.
That's such a mistake. Like,
Yeah.
What if she had what if she decided to show up?
Yeah.
You could have heard a pin drop.
Yes. It would have been awesome. I would have loved to have seen that.
I would have loved to have seen Peeper
Yeah.
as he saw her show up. Or iBoy.
Yes.
I think he's a different name now.
Oh, good.
But yeah, super amazing issue. If you weren't super into the Hellfire Gala, this is a great issue to read regardless.
Mhm.
Because it will kind of catch you up to like some of these standings in terms of like how Earth feels about it, how the galactic universe feels about it, and then just if you want to read Doom being Doom and Magneto being Magneto,
Mhm.
like it's just such a great issue.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. And then it moves to the next book.
Yeah, and then we like head into Way of X number 3, which deals with the aftermath of the party, like the next day. We get to
Yes.
see a little bit of Kurt,
Mm-hmm.
Of
And what
course.
he did during the Hellfire
which, by
Gala.
the way, I noticed that a lot of it actually does line up with stuff we see.
Yes.
Like in this, we see Beast push Kurt out of the way.
Yep.
That's from Wolverine.
Nice.
It's when like the shit hits the fan and they
Yeah.
gotta stop all the plant people.
So
I was
cool.
Like, okay. He has that conversation with Megan. It's a different conversation in a way. Like the
Mm.
words are different than what happened in Excalibur, but it still happens.
Right.
Like there is this connection where all the writers knew
What was going to
that
happen? All the
Kurt,
beats.
that Kurt was going to be in these certain situations, and then this book is like, and here's what Kurt saw, which was him just completely trash. We see it from his POV.
Yep.
Talking about religion. He's very hung up on the make more mutants.
Yeah.
Right? Like he gets really hung up on that one, on that
Mhm.
first rule, right?
Yeah.
And if you read this one first, then you got the reveal of Wanda and Magneto together. But that's what I'm saying. You could read this anyway, because you'd be like, wait, what?
What the fuck? Yeah.
We're just gonna breeze past that one. We're just gonna breeze past this moment between the two of them,
Yeah.
where it's like almost like they're dancing.
Right.
And Kurt's just passed out.
Yep.
Is Kurt a lightweight? Is that what we're meant to believe? Did he
I
just
don't
drink
know.
too much?
I assume so. That would be a fair assessment of Kurt, as I would assume.
Right. I too would have liked to have seen Wanda's Hellfire Gala outfit. Were she given one?
Totally.
That would have been dope.
You kidding me?
But the next day, obviously, Kurt is severely hungover.
Mm-hmm.
Severely hungover. So he calls Dr. Nemesis to see if he has a cure because he had that Krakoan coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Coffee.
By the way, Marvel, if
Where
you
is
make it, I
that?
will totally spend the probably $10 to $13 on a bag of it.
So weird they haven't made
because
it.
I am trash. So
Nice.
but see, he drinks that and it does kick in, and I believe that Dazzler's, by the way, she's just constantly throwing
raves or parties.
She's
She's
just
always
always
writing new music
performing.
and performing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And
much of the
Nemesis has
chagrin
just
of,
had
of Nemesis.
Yeah, he despises her.
Yes.
Legion is checking out a concert with the Zorn brothers. He's buddies with them. And gets a call from Pixie, who's like, I need you to come over here like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Loa and Mercury, two mutants, were getting interested in one another, and things were getting a little heavier. And when Loa got a little too into it, she ended up cutting Mercury's hand off.
Right.
And so Pixie's like, didn't you have a way that you and I guess it was it Blindfold?
Yeah.
Used to be intimate with one another.
Right. In your mind.
In the mindscape. And he's like, oh, okay, cool.
Right. Oh, you want to use me as like a conduit? Sure, done.
And they do that, but of course it like
he legions it.
He legions it. He can't help himself. He does it, but then it goes too far because it's like they were just at the beginning of their relationship, and so like they start learning things about one another that they really shouldn't. But it turns out Legion's doing that because he's trying to track down Onslaught.
Yes.
Who is like leeching onto these moments. Like
Yep.
the Make More Mutants thing is almost like feeding him.
Yeah.
So we're gonna deal with that, but Kurt notices that there is a shadowy cloaked figure who is talking to some mutants, and he's like, what's happening? Stops them. It's Stacy X, well-known ex-character prostitute, sex worker of the past. Not anymore.
No.
Though kind of. And she's actually handing out contraceptive.
Oh, yes, that's right. And he's like, hey, that's a sin.
That's a sin. You're not supposed
in
to
both
do
of
that.
my religions.
And she's like, listen, there literally was just a huge party where everybody got dressed up in like scantily clad sort of outfits, more so than they normally wear. And they all got drunk. And you're just going to be like, nah, this is cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm handing out contraceptive.
Right.
Okay. And she's like, just come with me. And so she proceeds to take him to where she's been hanging out, which is called the... I thought you were going to turn the page so I could recall it. The Bower. There is a location where it's not a brothel because because
people aren't always having sex. Sometimes they're cuddling or they're talking.
Kurt says that to her, and then she smacks him because it's like really insensitive to how she came up.
Yes.
She's like, no, I'm giving people an outlet sometimes because she can use her pheromone-based powers to like put them in the mood. It doesn't force anyone to do anything. It's just whatever's there does come out. And sure. Sometimes people have like trysts, whatever. It's just like a place to get out that raw energy because when you have too much energy like that, things could go the wrong way.
That's right.
But she's like, sometimes people just come here to talk. Like they don't feel comfortable that they can do that. And I give them that confidence to do that, or they hold one another, or they just want comfort. And that's what she's here to help them with, right? But that's not the only thing that she's doing. Because the whole idea of make more mutants, right? Like you hear that and you think to yourself, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you need to make more mutants. You're telling everybody to have these orgies. Shouldn't it be like a whole bunch of like babies coming out of it?
Right.
Like responsibilities?
Exactly. And that's kind of an issue. Yeah.
It's been a minute. And so she reveals that in the back of the Bower, there's like a nursery.
Right.
Because one day she found a baby just abandoned and she took it and then started like, I guess, raising it in a way and like
tending to it.
Well, yeah, and like she kept it here, and like people who came here had like so much love after whatever it is that they were doing that they would like dote on the baby, and it flourished, and so then more babies started showing up.
Yeah,
like they would be left at the doorstep, or like one day, like a couple of them just like a couple showed up and was like, "Here, sorry,"
right?
Like as though
it's
it were
like,
laundry.
"Hey, Kurt."
This is why I'm saying it's dangerous because it's like. Certainly there are like mutants out there who are looking forward to that and want to have a family. But as Kurt has seen for some of these mutants who are just like playing around the resurrection protocols, a lot of them aren't prepared for that responsibility.
Yeah.
So she's like, I understand the idea of make more mutants, but like, we need to do it in a responsible fashion.
Yes.
And this is not responsible. And so potentially this is why Professor X was like, maybe we should have some sort of religion because I don't want to be the one that tells everyone not to be banging. I want to be the guy who says, no, go for it. You're the wet blanket, Kurt.
Exactly.
You be the wet blanket.
Yes. He's like, I'm good at that. No problem.
We see in the nursery, the mutant who Kurt had referred to as Lost is there. That's actually not her name. Her name is Marionette. Stacy knew her.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was brilliant. Like I literally was like, oh, that's so smart. I just said that out loud to myself when I was reading this.
Good job, me.
Not me. Her.
Yeah.
Or Spurrier for writing this, where he's like, he's got Marionette in there and she like loves to take care of the kids. And like she reads stories to them and she's really, really good at it. And her powers, which are gravity based, don't affect the babies because babies don't have inner ear bones developed yet, so they don't suffer the dizziness from it. I was like,
that's awesome.
Cool.
Yep.
Dope. Then naturally Fabian Cortez shows up and ruins everything. that one panel, I was like, I hate you. You're such a creep.
Yeah.
Such a creep. He comes to the Bower, meets up with this chick, and what he wants is for the chick to listen to his creepy poems and wear a Magneto helmet while they presumably do it.
Yeah.
She's like, not having it.
Right.
No, I'm not doing this. This disturbs Marionette, and so she ends up using her powers, and like it all just goes to hell real fast.
Yes.
Like very aggressively, almost as though something's wrong.
Yeah, like something's affecting all of them.
Right? Because remember I said Legion had gone into or had been helping Loa and Mercury.
Yeah.
Well, something started going awry, so he and Pixie went into their minds. Pixie was like, that's like a violation of what they're doing. He's like, that's a human way of thinking. Get it? So they go in there and they do in fact see like an Onslaught representation there, looking a lot more like demony looking. And so it flees.
Yes.
And so they chase after it, and we discover that it clearly has inhabited the bodies of Marionette and possibly even Fabian Cortez.
Yeah.
And so I think it's in Marionette for sure.
Right.
And so they try to expel it. It gets away. And they're like, okay, so
this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, this is getting out of hand. Fabian Cortez tries to like be like, what's going on? And the Zorn brothers are like, go away.
Go away. No one likes you.
No one likes you. No one likes you. Please leave. We get like this picture of like what might be a team here forming. So we got Dr. Nemesis, Stacy X, Kurt, Legion, and Pixie.
Yep.
Coming together, hanging out in the bar. Stacy sees Nemesis like hating the fact that Dazzler's there. She just wrapped her set.
Yep.
And she uses her powers on him. And she talks about the fact that it's like, listen, like making babies is not what Krakoa needs.
No.
Like, that's not what we need. And like Kurt's like, if it's not reproduction, then what do we need? And she's like, we need someone who's willing to do something new.
Exactly.
Right. And so what we punctuate that is by the fact that Nemesis, I guess deep down inside, had a thing for Dazzler. And so he goes and asks her for a dance after apologizing for being
so boorish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's actually kind of cute. I really kind of dug this issue. This is definitely, as was said in that super chat before, this is an issue for people who were hung up on the creepiness of the orgies and like that responsibility and like the fact that like everyone seems to be turning a blind eye to it. Not everyone is. Yeah. And this book is analyzing that and what it means. So I think that's cool. We're really like getting into a lot of like what Krakoa is doing and what the long-term ramifications are of it. Yeah. The fact is, now that I'm saying that out loud, it could just be too that Xavier's like, no, do that because there are no long-term ramifications.
Right. Yeah, because I know how this is all going to end.
I know how this ends, and it probably ends in a reboot.
Right. So do everything.
Go for it. Who cares?
Do it all.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Dope issue. Kind of, wrapping things up for that book. Well, one more, and then we'll transition to the next one. Yeah. But we get like a full picture of the Hellfire Gala. Almost. Yes. I think we might know now why Magneto gets arrested. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. What if he kills her?
To bring her back as a mutant?
Like, I don't know. Like, I think you might be a mutant and he kills her.
There's no way.
And then sees.
They're not going to do it.
Man, they're going to be like, fuck you. No way.
No, he's not.
He's like, okay, then I'll bring this. Well, then me and Mystique are going to burn this place to the ground. That'd be kind of amazing.
Havoc's like, me too.
Yeah, me too. Fuck off.
Hello?
No, go away, Alex. You creep. B-Black says, so rewarding this finally seeing why Storm was leaving and a nice little moment in retrospect. Plus, glad finally someone referenced the Wakanda Space Empire, such a large event missed out by most of Earth.
Yeah, no, for sure. And because she seemingly just exited the Marauders book, and I was like,
it's like that's fair because she's just too big for that book.
That's what I felt like. That 100% is what that felt like. But I was like, then what are the plans for her? Because she's not on the X-Men. Yeah, she's not on the X-Men team.
Yeah, and she's like, clearly instrumental in the society. So
right. So I was like, is she going to play a bigger role in the Quiet Council? What? No, putting her here is genius. Honestly, like just giving her this like role of like, she's treated as a goddess. We'll see what she does with like an actual diplomatic role that isn't part of the Wakandan Empire, right? But dealing with them instead.
Exactly. Tube's the one. I find it hilarious how humans got mad when they went to Mars. Like, one, you all didn't want to live there. You didn't want to live with them, so they left. And two, you don't have dibs on Mars.
It's exactly how I feel about that. Honestly, you can't just be like dibs in like a couple hundred years, we're totally gonna get there.
Yeah.
You just wait and see. All right, we're just biding our time. Okay.
It's a cool plot device. It really is an interesting debate.
Yeah, and also like, oh no, you'll have to actually make friends with mutants if you'd like to be a part of that civilization.
Yeah.
Shouldn't your scientific community just be excited about the possibilities that are
going to Mars? Yeah,
and like studying it and seeing what's beyond. And
it's not really like it's not really Mars anymore.
No. But like, wouldn't you be excited to see that?
I guess that's true.
Terraformed a planet.
Yeah, but it's like not natural. Like you just made it.
Terraforming's never natural.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like if I went to Mars, I would like want to study what Mars is. And, like,
I
look
feel
into
like
it.
some scientists might want to study like how terraforming affects the planet.
Definitely, that's
especially
true.
Since they have data from Mars previous.
Yeah, that's fair, but
and
not
also,
a lot of data.
Now if they're becoming part of like a galactic like universe, you have access to that too.
That's true.
Wouldn't you like that?
I already kind of had access to that, but I squandered it back then. Neil and Bradley, just want to say Tiffany did an excellent job in the last episode. It's always a treat when the whole gang is on the show.
Oh, thank you.
That's right. If you haven't already watched it, over on youtube.com/ComicPop, Tiffany covered a classic hidden gem in Batman Dead Man. It's a really fun story. Check it out.
Yeah, and the 4 on the couch, I was like, you got to be on for this one.
That was nice of you to invite me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
New type JB Lee with Ben Reilly cast. I thought the ones who disliked the marriage were older writers like Roger Stern, and younger writers did not mind the marriage. I've heard rumors of both. I've always been surprised by who did and who did not like the marriage. B Black, glad they're bringing Wanda back. No More Mutants felt so off. She needed mental health therapy and got manipulated by Quicksilver, Magneto, and Xavier. Yeah. I don't think they've ever really fixed her, but you know.
What's funny is like much like Magneto, or not Magneto, much like Beast is kind of like right now in a place of like how could you possibly fix this?
Yeah.
How could you possibly fix him except like if the universe of mutants is rebooted and like he doesn't do those things, but you still know he did those
and
things.
he is capable of them.
Yeah, so it's like for the mutants of Krakoa, it's going to be really hard to spin Wanda as anything else.
Yes. Jacob Montez at work, but just popping in and say thanks to you.
Capitalized it.
Yeah, thank you. He started Nightwing, part of the pizza place where Dan DiDio is the pizza guy, and post-it note says, "Dan, you're fired." Had me giggling. I'll spare a dime for that. Nice. That's cute. I like that a lot.
That's awesome.
B Black, Cyclops and Steve Rogers team up, Shield and Fist. It'd be cool. Yeah, I'd see that. Oh, we have some more. Sorry. Just here we go. New type JB Lee. Speaking of Wanda, shouldn't Pietro also be blamed for the mutant decimation? I mean, he was complicit in the events of House of M. He also encouraged her to do it in the first place. So yeah, he should.
But it's easier to have one boogeyman. It's easier to paint one
instead of twins.
Yeah, it's easier to paint one as the target since she's the one that did the actual act.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, that's what we need. Like we're making her that target.
Yeah.
And it works for them.
Yeah. Girk Pectus, have you read Peter David's Captain Marvel run? I love it. Came out when Marvel comic was being dark and gritty and boring. It embraced CB insanity. I've read some of it. You know, it's very Peter David. So if you're interested in that, like, check it out.
I was laughing at the idea of Exodus. It's like, no, Wanda, I'm telling the stories. I'm telling the kids the stories. That's the boogeyman.
I can imagine Exodus being really pissed at the.
Wait, we're not ready for that one.
Okay.
We've got one more.
That's right. We do have one more.
We bought this. And I was like, we have to get this cover, even though there's like kind of a more fun cover. I was like, we have to get the cover that looks like it came from the early 2000s.
Yes, that's why, just like the interiors. Batman Reptilian #1.
There are occasionally some fun things.
Yeah, there are. No, it's great.
But some stuff I'm like, oof.
From DC Black Label, written by Garth Ennis, with art by Liam Sharp.
Yeah.
If you are familiar with Liam Sharp from, I believe he did the Green Lantern series with Grant Morrison, it looks nothing like that. This book was plucked from an alternate reality from 1996. In which the art looks exactly similar as any other book by God, I was gonna say Dave McKean, but maybe more like.
No, it is a little bit.
It's a little Dave McKean. It's a little bit of Bisley, Simon
yes,
Bisley.
Yes, it is Bisley. I was like,
yeah,
dread.
It's Simon Bisley. But and it's funny because you think like, oh, you know, Garth Ennis hates superheroes and he makes fun of them, and you know, he made Batman look like an asshole, and Hitman, like, is he going to be an asshole in this? Yes, but it's not a joke. Like, I was surprised. I was very surprised by what a seemingly, superficially speaking, straightforward Batman story this is, and yet not.
Yes, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he comes
off, yeah,
he's a jerk.
He's a jerk, but he's not.
He's a total dick.
He's not an idiot. Like, he's not a buffoon.
He's a dick in both ways.
Yes,
because there is a actual mystery here. And I found myself at the end of this being like, I actually want to read the next one for this. I do want to pick up the next issue. I want to know what's going on here.
Same.
The first part of it, I was like, okay, all right, Batman.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of a lunatic.
Yes.
A little bit.
Deliberately so. I mean, it's written by Ennis, so you could expect that, but it's really, you know, it's not nearly as off the beaten track as I would have expected.
No, but like, again, he's crafting something here, and I do want to know where this is going. Did you catch the phantasm in the back?
I did.
I was like, what?
That Ennis wrote, draw a bunch of Batman villains.
Yeah.
Did not give a shit. There's no way Ennis saw Mask of the Phantasm.
No, it's interesting. Like the villains who are selected to be in this, it's Man-Bat, Clayface.
Yep.
Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, Joker, Two-Face, Killer Croc, and Poison Ivy.
Yep.
Which I love because like a lot of people are like, Poison Ivy's not a villain anymore. In this book, she
totally is. Yeah, because this book was written in 1997.
It must have been. This must have been something that was like in a drawer somewhere. It sort of feels like, at least.
Yes.
It almost kind of feels either like an Elseworlds or a Legends of the Dark Knight.
Yeah. And it's a Black Label book, so it is an Elseworlds.
Right.
But it also could be a Legends of the Dark Knight. Yeah. It's really weird.
It is very weird, but I gotta tell you, like
that little
what?
A little tribute to Steve Dillon. Apparently, it was written for Dillon, so we know it was written before. We know it was written before Dillon's passing.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
So
there's like some previews. I don't know why they felt like they needed to put the previews.
I don't know. The previews are great, by the way. I can't wait to see it.
I was really excited by the previews, but I didn't feel like I needed the previews to sell me on.
What's a Black Label book? What are you doing?
This book, yeah.
It's also hey, it's a Black Label book that is like Snyder and Capullo's in that it is a regular sized comic.
It is. We're seeing a lot more of those.
Yeah.
But again, if this was written at a different time, it wouldn't have been written in that issue style, because a lot of the Black Label larger books are a little longer.
That's true.
So it could just be that this was the way it was written, so that was the way they're going to produce it.
Yeah. If there's someone attacking Gotham's villains, that's the idea.
Yeah, there's some like cool descriptions of things in here. There are some really fun panels. There are some less fun panels.
Yeah. Liam Sharp is an artist that is a little bit divisive, but like I think he's unequivocally great.
Okay.
It's just a question of like what he's executing.
Yeah.
His Batman is awesome looking, and it just
his Batman's all sometimes he goes a little too
Joe Kelly.
Red Rain, yeah, Kelly,
because
like
Joe Kelly's in this book. They reference him by name. They named someone in the book.
I didn't
Joe
even
Kelly.
catch that.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not catch that at all. That's so funny.
But yeah, it is a nostalgia
there's a
trip.
Sienkiewicz variant.
Oh my god.
1 in 25. I bet that's dope looking.
I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, it's a blast.
I think it's this.
Oh,
that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I like this hilarious cover.
Yeah.
This cover's hilarious. I have no idea. But yeah, we kind of offhandedly mentioned this almost as like a joke last time. I saw it in stores, and so I was like, I'm gonna get the physical of this. We have to. It's like a big lizard eye, whatever.
Yep.
I read it today. I sent you
you sent me a screenshot or a picture.
Yeah, of something. I was reading it. I was like, wait, I gotta find this, and I sent it to Sal.
Yeah.
Because there's an attorney right at the beginning, and it just looks like a chunkier, not quite so to make him Wario, but it looks like a heavier set Waluigi.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, he passed the bar. Good for him.
Yeah.
Just a gritty.
Yeah, this is definitely the
yeah, just a gritty sort of over the top.
Yep.
Story. Not
weird.
Seemingly set in any sort of continuity.
No, Alfred's alive.
Alfred's alive.
Some villains are either dead or attacked. Because like I think the first set of villains that are attacked, they're not dead, and then the next one it's like, well, they ripped Riddler stem to stern, so I think he's dead.
Yeah, so there it is. We read it. We'll probably continue to read it.
Yep. Ridiculous.
Because it is a little ridiculous.
But fun. It's a neat idea, so check it out if you can. Batman Reptilian. Also, what's it called? Infinite Frontier.
That came out.
Yep. By Josh Williamson and Zermanico. Yeah. So this is like the setup for the new Status Quo / Crisis / event for DC. It's the new, like, if you're wondering, like, what the hell does Infinite Frontier mean? Where are we going with this? This is the book to buy.
Yeah.
We have a, like, opening sequence that is very evocative of Superman's origin. In fact, a kindly couple in Kansas, like, discover this this crashed doomed spaceship, and when they open it up, it's freaking Thomas Wayne from the Flashpoint universe.
I know.
And it was revealed that they're actually on Earth 23, where President Superman is from.
Yes.
And so, like, Flashpoint Batman arrives on President Superman's Earth, and
they're like, "Who sent us a Batman?
Who sent us a Batman?" Great line. But we see, the new status quo. We talk about, like, the multiverse map. We show that, like, Extant is a villain. Thanks, Josh, for throwing an Extant. And he is being defeated by, like, the team from Infinite Frontier. It's a collection of characters. He's getting railroaded literally by Alan Scott. And we just watch, them kind of, like, cleaning up messes across the multiverse and doing their thing. Alan Scott, of course, trying to, like, kind of reignite the, like, relationship with his children that was already established in another book, but it's nice to see them, like, going, like, well, you can't just friggin' do a big splash page and be
then
done
be like, totally cool. That's not how actual relationships work. That's not how humans work.
Seemingly Scott's daughter is hurt in a explosion of green flame, which reminded me very much.
Green flame,
not just of Acquisitions Incorporated, but also of the Superman, Green Lantern, Legend of the Green Flame.
Yes.
We also set up this great conversation which I've been waiting for like a couple of months now.
I read this. I was like, I've heard this before. Oh yes, Sal told me this.
Yeah, Mr. Bones. What's her name?
Chase.
Yes, is it Chase Meridian?
She says Chase.
I don't remember, because Chase Meridian, I think, is from Batman Forever.
They didn't. Yeah, I believe you're correct about that.
But
for sure. Her name is Chase.
Yeah, but they're talking about the multiverse, and they're talking about, like, Dark Knight's Metal and all the fallout from that. And Mr. Bones having a real problem with it.
Shout out to Zermanico again, drawing a
great skull.
Great skull.
Yeah, no, Mr. Bones looks amazing.
He looks awesome.
But basically, they want to bring Cameron Chase.
Now draw a Ghost Rider.
Yes, Zermanico. We'll take you afterward. But yeah, Cameron Chase. So he wants to bring her back into the organization. She wants none of it, but she does anyway. We reestablish, like, what exactly is going on with Thomas Wayne. He is joined by the crew, which is called Justice Incarnate.
Can I just say, listen, I know you're not the biggest Captain Carrot fan.
I am not. He is insanely scary looking.
But I love that. Like, he's really intense and he's trying to be really friendly. And I was like, that's really funny.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that there's nothing friendly about what you're doing right now. You're just a giant scary rabbit man. And this person just woke up.
Yeah. And it's Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint. He is not going to be receptive.
He's like, hey.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Like, ah! But yeah. So there you have it. So Calvin Ellis is leading Justice Incarnate, Captain Carrot, Aquawoman, Mary Marvel, Machine Head, all from different Earth designations. And they basically just, like, work together to try and deal with, like, multiversal problems.
Yeah.
And Thomas Wayne, of course, is like,
get me the Flash.
Get me the Flash.
Which
one? Barry Allen. Which one? The main Barry Allen. Of course, Barry Allen is working with Justice Incarnate.
He's got a little backpack on. He's running around. He's got
running through multiverses.
Yeah,
he's and we see some snapshots of, like, Earth's. We got Helena Wayne.
We got the Tangent Universe.
The Tangent Universe. Like, Kingdom Come.
One of them waves at him.
Super Sons. Yeah. It's actually cute because, like, one of them, the Tangent waves at him, but, like, the Flash, who exists in multiple universes at the same time from Kingdom Come, does not notice him.
No.
In any case, but he's gathering up multiversal energy so that he can go to Earth Omega, which we know for a fact from the last story.
It's not a place you want to be.
You don't want to go there because Darkseid will probably kill you because he killed the Quintessence, and that's when Barry discovers the bodies of the Quintessence having been killed by Darkseid, and
by the way, he immediately, true to his character, is like, we got to set up a crime scene here.
Because he's a forensic guy.
Yeah, he's like, here we go. Enhance.
You're right. He is ambushed, and this
is really dope.
The sequence where he is attacked is so expertly handled.
Yep.
Which shows just all the different art styles that Barry Allen has been presented in since, like, the 50s.
Yeah, it's really great looking.
Yeah, it's really cool. But he's attacked by presumably Psycho Pirate Omega
Yeah.
or Psycho Pirate. It's Psycho Pirate. It's Psycho Pirate from classic, continuity. Now a disciple of this new dark side.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we have a fun scene where
Have we not seen Psycho Pirate since Tom King?
yeah, no,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he was in Dark Knight's death metal or metal at some point, but like not used to any effect.
Okay.
You see references to Dark Knight's death metal, which was really cool because like
it's really
gorgeous looking,
painterly, so it looks fantastic.
I also love that like they don't want to really refer to it, but they do anyway. They're just like, do you remember when like everything was a friggin' album cover?
They indicate that like we as denizens of the earth know that their multiverse exists now.
Yes.
And some folk remember what happened in death metal, and some don't. And so this girl's out with her family, and
she's like, "You guys really don't remember?"
And like, they're like, "We have to get you help because that didn't happen."
And somebody behind her, in a table behind her, is like, "Oh, do you remember? No, I remember. Like that people everywhere, and the world was like on fire."
And they're able to like collaborate and like corroborate one another's stories.
Yes, and then an anti-multiverser shows up, and he like gets in everybody's faces. Roy Harper is, of course, the fly on the wall that's listening in.
Yep.
I'm back to life. I'm here. I do know all of this stuff. I've been here or not sometimes. And he's, getting a faceful from the like anti-multiverser until they are attacked by the TVA. I mean, a different group of people.
I really like the way she was drawn.
She looks like she's a relic from the 90s.
Right, but she also like she's got like almost a 3D effect to her, or like a like not quite stabilized in
because she's
universe.
she's clearly like operating through different dimensions.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of a cool effect.
Yeah, it is a cool effect. No, it's great. But they identify that like Roy Harper shouldn't be here, so they're trying to get him and collect him.
Yeah, and they're gonna like take down everybody else, like in the diner, like no witnesses.
Yes, exactly. And then it's revealed that he is infused with energy and wields a Black Lantern ring.
Right. But like all of his versions of him are like
his multiversal selves,
ghostly with him.
Yes, he's like resurrecting the different versions of himself.
I thought they saved him.
Right, and I think they did because like there's a big like fist that blasts through the diner. Yeah, I think that's not him. Yeah, they are conjured. I don't know what that's all about. But like, here's the thing: it's a payoff for everybody. Like, if you love DC, if you love DC continuity, DC events, I think Josh Williamson is playing with like everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, listen, I think a lot of folk are going to approach this with like, didn't we just have a crisis?
Yeah, but this is like we're trying to prevent one. Like we know one's coming. Let's try and keep this
right.
And here's the thing: like, I never wanted a death metal. I never wanted a Dark Knight thing.
I get it. But
so like I'll take a crisis that's like this.
Right. But like I'd say you should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Even if you're like, I'm tired of crises.
This is something where it's like, it's a slow burn. And as I have it on good authority that the Infinite Frontier series is going to be more grounded, despite all the multiversal stuff and the Black Lanterns and crap. Like it's going to be more about this mystery. And it will lead to the next thing. And I think there's going to be like 3 phases of this crisis.
Okay.
So like the first phase, the Infinite Frontier, is just like we're setting up this problem. And the problem is seemingly like already established, which is like the multiverse and what that means and like why people remember what's going on and what this new status quo is. And then we'll go to the next thing. And that's kind of cool. And we're seeing who the players are. Thomas Wayne, Justice Incarnate, Roy Harper, this girl, maybe
Barry
Allen, obviously.
Listen,
no question. It's Josh Williamson.
And the word crisis came up. So
Barry's got to be in it. Psycho Pirate. It's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I'm in. I love it.
Did you notice that they also kind of mentioned, I think, unless I made this up, maybe it was out of desperation that I made this up, that they almost indicated that the Jeff Johns series that like was or was not within continuity.
Doomsday Clock?
Thank you. My brain was like Watchmen.
Yes, it is
I'm
Watchmen.
like, stop.
I don't remember them referencing.
I thought they referenced that like a guy like came in and like affected things.
Oh, cool. Yes.
But maybe I'm wrong.
That's Doomsday Clock. I would hope they'd use it because it's like really important.
Maybe I could be entirely incorrect about that.
But
again, it could have just been.
It wouldn't surprise me because like Williamson is literally pulling from every corner of DC crises and
One
history.
of these I read like after a nap.
That's
so.
fair. But yeah, so that's really awesome. I'm very excited about it. B Black says if X-Men and Krakoa Council were a pantheon, who would be their Greek analogs? Also, imagine if every apocalypse in the Loki series being a Moira life. That's fun. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, man. Thank you.
I can imagine it.
I can. And I could see like Storm, kind of like stepping up and establishing
she's
that.
Zeus. So she's not.
Right. Girk Pectus, do you think Mobius is Donald Blake and Loki? Absolutely not. No, I do not. Yeah, no, I don't think so. That'd be a cool idea, actually, now that I think about it, since we've established the new status quo of those people. Don't mask truth 92 says got my master's today. Love Comic Pop. You helped me get through it. Congratulations.
That's a huge step.
That is a huge step. That's fantastic.
Congratulations.
It's a feather in your cap. Keep it up, man.
Yes.
Congratulations. Good luck. The real Manos, taking a history class in the DCU must suck. You study all night and you fall and you still fail the test because history was changed overnight.
That does suck.
Unless your professor remembers and he's like, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
I'm gonna give you partial credit because I was there too. I lived in that reality.
You're just killing you can't rely on your GPA in that world.
Yeah, no.
Like, because that professor's not, I give you partial credit. It's not the real answer.
No.
What history just changed?
Right.
I didn't have time.
I didn't have time to get.
You didn't even teach that.
Right.
I feel like I did though.
I feel like I did. And Kev,
No, I did.
KevBot 1995. Hot Chip is my favorite chip. It's exclusively on ComicPop Returns. Just started paying off a car and will be broke for the next few years, limiting my comic buys. So back issues is my savior.
Barbatos reference.
That's it. Yes, that's too bad.
I reread it.
Damn it.
I took out a word.
Oh.
I took out old.
Oh.
I took out the word old. My brain just plucked it out of there, and I was like, "Oh, that's him." Now it's Barbatos.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Hot Chip is my favorite chips, exclusively on ComicPop Returns. Just started paying off a car and will be broke for the next few years, limiting my comic buys. So back issues is my savior. Internal screaming ensues. Well, good luck, man.
Yeah, no, good luck.
Thank you for your support.
Even if you're limiting your comic book buying, look for sales for sure. Like look for dollar bins. Look for if you're not worried about like necessarily like keeping current on all series, like. Sometimes comic book stores have like trades that are like severely discounted, like 50% off, that kind of thing. Like always be on the lookout for sales.
Yeah.
That's a great time to explore some of your cheaper options and find something new.
That's true. So let's recommend some comics, huh? Obviously, thanks to our special guest, I'm recommending Daredevil number 31. It's coming out on Wednesday. It's the first part of a new arc, so I would absolutely check it out. Mike Hawthorne doing pencils. It's one of his last books. I think he's got 2 more left. So check that out before someone else comes in to like help Chichetto out. Beta Ray Bill number 4 is coming out. I believe this is the penultimate issue, or maybe it's the penultimate issue. There's 5 issues of Beta Ray Bill. Daniel Warren Johnson, he's been on the show and plimped out this book as well. So check out this series. It's great. Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man Chameleon Conspiracy number 1, I assume is going to be used as a like tie-in book to wrap up this arc. So I guess I'll check it out. Who knows? Maybe it'll all culminate in something fun. Anything's possible. Infinite Frontier Secret Files number 1 comes out from Josh Williamson and Brandon Thomas and Dan Walters and Stephanie Phillips with art by Valentine DeLandro and Inaki Miranda and Stephen Byrne.
It's an 80-page comic.
It's an 80-page comic book. So, you got to save your pennies, but it might be kind of important. I feel like it will be.
A lot of writers are working on this.
Yeah, it's a lot of people working on this series. So check out Infinite Frontier Secret Files number 1.
Oh, man.
Black Widow number 8 from Kelly Thompson and Elena Casagrande and Rafael De La Torre is coming out. It's a great series. If you haven't already checked it out, you should. It's fun. Art's fantastic, and it's a cool book. The first volume will be on back issues in 2 weeks. So yeah, those are my picks for this week.
Don't forget also, because we had Chip Zdarsky on, crossover number 7 is coming out, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Phil Hester.
Yeah. That's awesome.
There you go. He stole it.
Yep.
I was going to constantly change the story about how this worked out.
Yeah.
In one version, he was tricked. X Factor number 10 is coming out.
Yep.
We kind of wrapped that up a little bit, but there's still a Hellfire Gala tie-in issue. It's not even a tie-in. It's just the next part of it.
Yep.
The secret. They said this one was going to be important.
Okay.
I believe, because I think this is.
I think it's getting canceled.
I think
so
someone's going to die. It's not getting canceled. I think it's ending.
It's
And then
ending.
it's like something else is coming.
that makes sense.
Cable number 11, not Hellfire Gala related, but that's coming out. So if you have been on the cable train or you just want more X-Men, you can grab that there. Eternals number 5. I feel like this has been a while since this came out.
It has.
Okay.
It feels
felt
like
it. But
Yeah.
I couldn't honestly be sure. I was like, I don't know time anymore.
Well, I mean, it's Ribic doing art, so like,
it
give him the
takes
time.
It takes a bit for sure. We only find them when they're dead. I love this cover.
Yeah.
Number 7 is coming out. Also, a shout out to Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade number 4. I'm just enjoying it.
Yep.
I'm going to check that out. I'm also going to pick up Shang-Chi number 2.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first Shang-Chi,
Mhm.
so I'm going to pick up the second one.
Why
I'm
not?
going to check that out. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, that's it. Just I didn't want you to forget that was there.
Oh, yeah.
Green Arrow's 80th anniversary is also coming out. If you love Green Arrow, it's going to be a celebration of his book. It's going to be like probably
It's a 100-page
It's
spectacular.
100 pages.
Excuse me. It's a 100-page super spectacular.
Oh, a super spectacular.
It's not a regular
More
spectacular.
than your regular spectacular.
Yeah, it is more super than the last spectacular that you might have been a part of or not. I don't know. You tell me if you were a part of it. I picked up the Marvel previews book. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Oh, good.
But I saw a preview in there for Darkhold coming out in the future
Oh,
with
no.
Dr. Doom. I was like,
Oh, cool.
So I'm looking forward to kind of leafing through that
Yeah.
one at some point.
It's also pimping out Inferno. Oh, no.
Inferno. I'm just going to keep saying Inferno until I find something else I want to recommend, because I didn't get a chance to look through these and I'm good.
Okay.
That's how it all ends. When you hear me just rambling, it's because I'm coming to the end of the list.
There you have it.
I'm good.
B Black says, totally off topic. I was curious if you and Tiffany have a meet cute. My wife said no the first time I asked her out. Lol, hope your trip was nice. Welcome back. Thank you for digging, for helping us out. And of course, for wishing us well on our trip. We took a trip about a week ago and it was a lot of fun.
We did. We had a great time.
We did. We had a great time. Yeah, there is. We'll talk about it one day.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before, but if you watch any of the old streams, you'll find it, but like we'll get into it later on.
The no thing made me think of something specific from that meeting.
Oh yeah. Girk Pectus says, what do you think of the new Suicide Squad trailer? I hate the horrible comedy. I hope they're saving the good jokes of the movie. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, but that doesn't give me hope, what you just said.
Yeah, no. But I mean, it's James Gunn, so I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No question about that.
You can't give all the jokes away.
No, exactly. Right?
You gotta save them.
The Great Council, great show, guys. If you like indie books, check out Isadora and Immortal Chains on Kickstarter. Okay.
I was like, KS, what company is that?
Right.
That's how my brain functions.
That's fair. And yeah, that's it. So we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We're really, really thankful that you've been here and supporting us and being, helping us out by subscribing to the channel, watching these videos, giving us thumbs up. And of course, if you are a super chatter, a special thank you to you for sponsoring today's episode. If you want more, follow us on twitch.tv/ComicPop to watch Tiffany play video games. Subscribe to youtube.com/ComicPop to get us to 100,000K. And of course, visit us at patreon.com/ComicPop for behind the scenes and early access when I can get that done. I literally just edited Black Widow, which comes out in 2 weeks, but I don't have this week's episode cut, so I got to go do that in the next 2 days so that it is out on time for like 1 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time for Wednesdays. I want to give a also special thank you to Chip Zdarsky for coming on today's episode and making it extra hot. We're very, very thankful to you for being here and for supporting us in this like kindness.
Double length episode.
That's right. It's a super special episode of Off the Rack. We're gonna keep it a little trimmer next time, I'm sure. But yeah, otherwise,
I'm only gonna read one book then.
Yeah,
that's how I'll get through.
That's how we'll get through it. Yeah, and I'll fire through a few. But thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. Of course, on Friday we'll see a new episode of Elseworlds Exchange, and Black Widow comes out the following week. So I think the new episode of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly will come out in a day or two.
Okay.
Because I have that done, and that'll be coming out. That's kind of like a Trojan horse, obscure teams plus the Winter Guard kind of thing.
I forgot about that one. I totally did.
I know.
I really wish we could almost cut back to Chip.
I know, right?
Time.
Yeah.
Just no shirt.
That's where he's like, hey, if we do, he will moon us. I don't think that's such a good idea.
Oh, okay. You're probably right.
He's like watching. He's like, oh. No,
he's not.
No,
he went and did things.
Yeah, he's busy.
He's
very busy.
He's being warm.
That's right. He's too busy
that
being
is a
hot.
full-time job.
It is. Yeah, especially if it's like, I don't know, however hot his Celsius is. It's like 40 degrees. It's practically sweltering. I think it is 40. I think that's the idea. It's 100.
I don't know anything about that at all. I don't know anything about most things.
That's me. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. So long, everybody.
Bye.